Beloved soul, you are not separate from the supply. You are not separate from abundance. You are one with the source that created gold from dust and rivers in the desert. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. That is not a hope, it is a decree. And what you decree, you draw unto you. Desire is not weakness. Desire is divine. Desire is the soul remembering what was already written before time began. It is the whisper of God in your spirit saying, "This is yours, call it forth." You were never meant to chase supply, you were meant to speak it into being. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. Job 2:8. Speak, child of light, speak, and the heavens respond. The word is power, the word is law, the word is creation. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1. You are a divine being, clothed in flesh, gifted with the same breath that parted the Red Sea, the same word that said, "Let there be light," and there was light. That light dwells in you. That word is your inheritance. Use it. Money is not your master. Money is your servant. It comes to the one who walks in alignment with divine law, not with striving, but with knowing. Not with fear, but with faith. As you sleep, the soul is still at work. The subconscious mind is the womb of creation. It does not sleep. It hears the word and multiplies it. As a man soweth, so shall he also reap. So truth, so prosperity, so divine remembrance. You are not trying to attract what you do not have. You are awakening to what is already yours. There is no lack in spirit. There is no poverty in the kingdom. Say with me now, Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right reach me now. Read until your soul believes it. Repeat it. Now, until your soul believe. Repeat it until your atmosphere shifts. Repeat it until heaven bows to your authority. You are not begging God. You are aligning with law. You are not wishing. You are commanding. You are not hoping. You are knowing. All things are possible to him that believeth. Mark 9:23. Let this be the hour you remember who you are. Let this be the night the veil is lifted. Let this be the sacred moment where you no longer see money as separate from your spiritual walk, but as a reflection of your alignment. Tonight, as you rest, rest in truth, rest in peace, rest in wealth, rest in divine supply. For even in sleep, the law is at work. The word is alive, the harvest is ripening, and the gates of abundance are already open. Prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Malachi 3:20. So it is. Desire is not something you made up. It did not arise from vanity, or ego, or the grasping hand of the flesh. No, desire is divine. It is the soft knock of spirit at the door of your consciousness, saying, "What I have for you is already prepared." It is not you asking God. It is God asking you to agree. For every true desire is a divine instruction coded with fulfillment, encoded with timing, encoded with provision. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Psalm 3:7-4. That is not a reward. It is a law, a divine law, a vibrational promise. When the soul desires, it is not yearning for something outside. It is awakening to what already exists within. That which you seek is not in the distant land. It is not in the striving. It is not in the chase. It is not in the labor of the hands, but in the alignment of the spirit. When you feel the sacred stirring of a desire in your chest, pause, listen. Do not shame it. Do not silence it. Do not delay it with doubt. That desire is the voice of the infinite saying, "Now is the time. Speak, my child, and call it forth." You are not being tested. You are being trusted. Desire is the whisper of completion before your eyes can see it. It is the evidence of the unseen. It is the invitation to remember what your soul already knows. You are not imagining a future. You are remembering a future. You are remembering a truth. And when you speak that truth, when you wrap it in rhythm and voice and faith, the universe obeys. Heaven hears. Angels move. Substance gathers. Before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. Isaiah 6:5-24. Speak then, Speak in faith. Speak with the knowing that your desire is holy ground. To desire is to obey the Spirit. Not all desire is noise. True desire is instruction, sacred, specific, divine. You must not delay what God has declared. You must not shrink back when the door is already open. There is no need to earn what has been given by grace. There is only the need to align. And alignment begins in the voice, in the vibration of spoken word, in the decree that carries your soul's agreement into the ethers where laws are activated and return is multiplied. Desire must not be buried. Desire, it must be breathed into life. It must be spoken aloud. It must be honored in the temple of your body, repeated until it becomes rhythm, and rhythm becomes reality. For it is written, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." Matthew 7:7. This is not metaphor. This is not myth. This is divine sequence. This is spiritual technology. This is sacred instruction for the manifesting soul. When desire rises, when desire speaks, the door is made. When desire speaks, the way is made. When desire is denied, the soul waits in silence. But when desire is declared, all of heaven rises to meet it. Let not the world convince you that you must suppress the holy longing within. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much. You are simply being called into agreement with more. There is no shame in holy desire. There is no delay in divine decree. Speak your desire, not as a wish, but as a knowing. Speak it before sleep, for the subconscious mind, the great servant of spirit, receives your word and works in silence. Speak it in faith, for faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Speak it in rhythm, for rhythm is creation's language. Speak it as done, and it shall be done. Say now, my desire is divine, my word is law, my good is already prepared. I do not beg, I command by the authority of spirit within me. Say it again and again until your vibration changes, until your atmosphere bends to your belief, until your desire feels less like a dream and more like a memory, because in truth it is. You are remembering what you already chose in the heavenly realm. You are agreeing with what is already yours by right of consciousness. You are not attracting. You are unveiling. So trust the desire, trust the instruction for the impulse that burns with peace. For the fire that glows within is not of this world. It is a divine signal, a soul summons, a sacred echo, and you, child of the Most High, are ready to answer it, not with striving, but with speech, not with fear, but with decree, not with doubt, but with rhythm. Speak your desire and rest. Speak your desire and receive. Speak your desire, and the law shall carry it to your door. And as the soul learns to trust this divine desire, it also learns that the word spoken in faith is not just a tool but a key. The word is not small. The word is not weak. The word is not mere sound. It is the original substance, the seed of creation, the beginning and the becoming. The word is the wand that moves matter, the unseen staff that parts lack from abundance, darkness from light, delay from divine arrival. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, John 1:1. And that Word still lives in you. That Word breathes through your voice. That Word waits to be spoken with faith. You are not without power. You are not waiting on a sign. You are the sign. Your voice is the sign. Your decree is the signal that the law must obey. The word you speak wraps invisible truth in vibration. It becomes rhythm. It becomes sound that carries spirit into form. Say it, and it begins. Say it, and it awakens. Say it, and it returns not void, for it is written, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void." Isaiah 5:1. That is the law. That is the covenant. That is the way of the manifesting soul. Your effort is not the key. Your struggle is not the force that moves mountains. It is your word. Your word carries more weight in the realm of spirit than any action without faith. When you speak in alignment, when you declare from knowing, not from fear, the universe bends, the elements respond, angels are dispatched, the invisible begins to arrange itself for visible arrival. There is no need to push when you can proclaim, no need to hustle when you can harmonize. The word is your wand. When you speak, Do not speak as one who begs. Speak as one who reigns. Speak as one who remembers that heaven was placed inside the breath. Speak as one who knows that you and the Word are one. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Proverbs 18:2-1. You are always planting, every sentence a seed, every affirmation a key, every rhythm of truth a ladder between the realm of the seen and unseen. To speak is to stir the deep. To decree is to command light. To repeat is to reinforce the truth until all that is false falls away. Say it until it feels like fire. Say it until it feels like fact. Say it until heaven echoes back your own voice, multiplied, magnified, and wrapped in answered prayer. You are not without tools. You have the highest technology in your spirit, the creative speech of the soul. Speak aloud the invisible blueprint. Speak what your eyes cannot yet see. Speak what your heart already knows. When you say, I am provided for, heaven agrees. When you say, money flows to me as I rest, the law begins to deliver. When you say, my words shape my world, your world rearranges. For the word is a divine servant. It does not question. It does not hesitate. It only mirrors belief. It only carries what you give it. There is no force here, only flow. No need to shout. Spirit hears the whispered decree that comes from a rested soul. There is no magic in volume, but there is power in vibration. Align your tone with truth. Align your rhythm with faith. Align your voice with the rhythm of heaven, and your harvest will have no choice but to come. For Spirit always honors the one who speaks as if it is already done. Let your words be clean. Let your speech be sacred. Let your declarations be holy. Speak not what you fear. Speak not what you lack. Speak what you know in spirit to be true. Let the law rise to meet the sound of your belief. Let the air carry your truth into substance. Let every night become your cathedral of creation, where your whispered decrees rise like incense before the throne of the Most High. Say now, I speak as one with the source. My word is divine command. What I say in faith must come. My voice is law. My decree is backed by heaven. Say it again. Say it as you lie down. Say it as you wake. Say it until your very atmosphere hums with remembrance. You are not speaking into the void. You are speaking into the law, and the law is perfect, and the law is alive, and the law never sleeps. For the soul that knows the power of its word does not wait in doubt. It rests in divine assurance. And from that rest the inner voice begins to say not, when will it come? But how shall it arrive? The soul cannot sleep where faith is awake. The body may lie down, the eyelids may close, but the spirit remains in motion. The spirit does not slumber. The soul remembers its assignment, even while the conscious mind dreams. And if you have spoken the word, if you have planted the decree in truth, the soul gets to work. The soil of the subconscious begins to shape reality in silence. Heaven is not on pause while you rest. Heaven is performing what while you believed. Heaven forming what you have believed. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. That is the resting place of the one who knows. Faith is not stillness. It is spiritual motion. When you speak before sleep, you write upon the walls of your inner temple. You leave instruction for the unseen. You open the gate and let the flow begin. And faith, active and unbending, remains at work when eyes close. Faith does not require supervision. Faith does not require control. Faith is divine intelligence, living law, spiritual substance. It knows what to do. It goes where it is sent. It multiplies what you speak. It echoes in realms beyond the seen and summons all things necessary for the fulfillment of your decree. Sleep is not the end of creation. It is its holy unfolding. For the soul does not forget what the mouth has declared. It does not abandon the word. It builds upon it. It moves with it. It stretches across time and space, into opportunity, into divine appointments, into unseen provision. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm 24. And if the God within never sleeps, then the soul in alignment never stops creating. The faith that lives in you is tireless. It is working now, even now. You need not strive, you need not grip or chase or clutch. You need only believe, speak, and allow. You need only trust that the spiritual realm is more real than the physical, that the law is already in motion, that by the time your eyes open again, the next layer of your manifestation has already been constructed. You are not waiting. You are unfolding. You are not suspended. You are ripening. Every moment in rest is a moment in revelation. And when the word is rooted deep, the soul dances with it through the night. The dream realm becomes your sanctuary. The sleep state becomes your workshop. The atmosphere responds to what you've believed without fear, without doubt, without the need to force or figure it all out. You are not the how. You are only the vessel. You are only the voice. You are only the one who remembers that the kingdom of heaven is already within, and you are only required to release it. Faith awakens what fear buried. Faith ignites what time is not touched. Faith is the fire that does not burn out, even when the night is long, and when you lie down in faith, your soul rises in light. It is there, in the unseen, in the stillness, in the silence, that mountains move, that doors open, that gold is gathered, that answers come. It is there that your decree becomes divine choreography, invisible and perfect, bringing all things into order. Say now, my soul is at work even while I sleep. My faith is alive. My word is unfolding. I rest in divine assurance. I rest in spiritual law. I rest because it is done. Repeat it until the body softens, until the mind stops chasing, until peace takes its place as your teacher and guide. You are not doing nothing. You are doing everything. For to trust, to truly rest, is the highest act of alignment. Let your nights become sacred. Let your sleep become ceremony. Lay down with decree. Lay down with praise. Lay down with the knowing that something holy is happening beneath the surface. You have spoken, and it must be done. You have believed, and it must appear. You have released, and it must return. The soul does not sleep when it is charged with divine instruction. The soul does not rest when faith has been set in motion. And in this sacred place between breath and dream, the voice that once trembled with doubt begins to rise again, not in fear, but in holy authority, prepared to speak not as one seeking, but as one who already receives. Speak as one who already possesses, and the universe obeys. Speak not from lack, but from law. Speak not as one hoping, but as one knowing. For the law does not respond to doubt. It responds to identity. It moves not for the one who wishes, but for the one who is. When you declare from fullness, when you speak as though the harvest is already in your hands, the harvest begins to move toward you. Therefore I say unto you, whatsoever things ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Mark 1:4, this is not theory, it is law, it is divine protocol. To speak as one who already has is not pretending, it is remembering. It is aligning with the truth that the soul has always known. You are not calling things into existence. You are allowing them to surface. You are not creating from scratch. You are agreeing with the divine pattern that is already formed. The blueprint is complete. Your words give it permission to appear. Your belief allows it to take shape. When you say, I am rich, the substance of wealth begins to organize itself around your vibration. When you say, I receive now, the ethers respond with confirmation. There is no resistance in the realm of spirit, only agreement or delay, and delay is only the result of divided speech, of saying, I am, and then whispering, but maybe not yet. Let your words be whole, let your speech be single, let your vibration be clean. Heaven honors conviction. Creation bows to unwavering tone. Not loudness, but clarity. Not forth with faith. Speak with rhythm. Speak with intention. Speak with stillness behind your voice. And heaven will hear not just your words, but your soul. The voice that moves the mountain is the one that already sees it moved. The decree that manifests is the one spoken in identity, not in need. Say it now. It is mine. I receive it. I walk in it. I thank God for it. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Always now. Your now is not measured by time, it is measured by consciousness. The moment you believe it is yours, it becomes yours. The moment you take possession in word and spirit, reality bends, circumstances shift, pathways open. Speak it until your body aligns, speak it until your breath slows, speak it until the atmosphere changes. For there is no delay in spirit, only in belief, no withholding in heaven, only in permission. And your permission is your word. Say not, I will be, for that is the language of waiting. Say not, one day, for that is the speech of separation. Say, I am. Say, I have. Say, it is done. This is the speech of the soul that knows. This is the tone of the spirit that reigns. You are not rehearsing. You are revealing. You are not hoping. You are harmonizing with divine supply. The law recognizes the voice of the one who walks as though it is already fulfilled. The angels rush to meet the one who speaks in the vibration of possession. You do not attract from need. You attract from identity. And identity is chosen by decree. Who you say you are, you become. What you say you have begins to gather. Your word is the gate. Your belief is the key. Your rhythm is the path. Speak now. I am aligned with infinite supply. I speak as one who already holds. I walk in divine provision. I rest in divine completion. Say it until there is no doubt. Say it until there is no gap. Say it until you and the promise are one. This is not delusion. It is divine order. This is not arrogance. It is spiritual inheritance. The prodigal son was restored not when he begged, but when he returned, when he remembered who he was. And the father said, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Luke 15:3-1, you have not been disqualified. You have only been distracted. Return to your place. Return to your word. Return to your inheritance. And from that holy place of identity, your voice will no longer tremble. Your prayer will no longer plead. Your decree will carry the vibration of completion, the tone of fulfillment, the echo of heaven. And when you speak from that sacred alignment, the law responds, not as an outsider, but as your faithful servant, bringing into form what your soul already knows is yours. What you praise multiplies. What you fear invites lack. Praise is the soul's agreement with abundance. It is the music of faith, the rhythm of remembrance, the vibration of divine knowing. When you praise, you tell the universe, I see the good, therefore I welcome more. When you speak well of what you already have, you activate the law of increase. You turn the key of multiplication. For it is written, He that hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. Matthew 13:12. This is not favoritism. It is spiritual law. Praise is not just words. It is alignment. Praise is not a performance. It is a frequency. It is the soul standing in agreement with God, saying, You are faithful. You are my source. I trust what I see, and I trust what I do not see. And when the atmosphere of your heart is filled with gratitude, the windows of heaven open. You cannot praise and remain in lack. You cannot give thanks and be forgotten by the law. Gratitude is magnetic. Praise is a seed. Rejoicing is the rhythm that calls more to you. Even in the invisible, there is cause to praise. Even before the arrival, there is reason to thank. Not because the thing is seen, but because the thing is already done. Praise is faith in motion. Praise is prophecy on your tongue. Praise is how the soul walks through the valley while still speaking of green pastures. When you say, Thank you, God, for the money already on the way, you are calling it into the now. You are collapsing time with the vibration of trust. You are making room for what was held back only by your silence. What you fear, you energize. What you worry about, you water. Fear is misplaced faith. Fear is belief in lack. Fear is a false prayer sent out with trembling. But perfect love casteth out fear. And praise perfects love. Praise brings your heart back into the knowing that God is your supply, and there is no shortage in the spirit. Say now, I praise my way into provision. I praise my way into peace. I praise my way into wealth. And the energy around you will rise. When your words are filled with admiration for what is, they become a beacon for more. The law sees that you have honored the seed and sends the harvest. The angels hear the sound of joy and rush in with increase. The universe hears the tone of gratitude and opens wide the storehouse of good. You are not waiting on a breakthrough. You are building it with every word of praise. This is not a game. This is a sacred order. Your words shape your world. Your declarations mold your destiny. Your gratitude determines the flow. Praise is the permission slip for abundance. Praise is the soul's way of saying, I have seen enough of God's goodness to trust what I cannot see. And in that space, miracles move. In that atmosphere, manifestation accelerates. Even when you have little, praise as if you have much. Even when the account is low, thank God that it is rising. Speak not of lack, for that is a language that attracts delay. Speak of increase, speak of plenty, speak of the open door. Let the weak say, I am strong. Joel 3:10. And let the poor say, I am rich, not because the bank says so, but because the soul knows so, because the word says so, because heaven has already decreed it. Let your voice become the sound of expectation. Let your language be the echo of abundance. Let your speech be the fragrance of divine faith. Praise is the aroma that attracts supply. Rejoice now. Rejoice in the hallway. Rejoice in the not yet. For praise is not reaction, it is revelation. It is your spirit standing before the invisible throne and saying, I receive, I believe, and I will speak of your goodness all the days of my life. Say now, I praise my present, I praise my future. I praise the money that flows while I rest. I praise the overflow that cannot be stopped. I praise because it is already done. Let the room fill with those words. Let the air bend with that vibration. Let your sleep carry that sound. Let your soul sing while the body rests, for the law is listening, and the law multiplies what you magnify. And as praise opens the way, as the atmosphere becomes ripe with rejoicing, the timing of heaven begins to accelerate. The answers quicken, the gates swing wide. And the one who once begged now begins to command. Not through effort, but through exaltation. Divine right timing responds to unshakable decree, not to begging, not to hoping, not to a voice that wavers between belief and doubt. It responds to the voice that knows, the voice that speaks not to chase, but to call, not to wait, but to declare. For the soul that is rooted in divine law does not worry about the when. It trusts the rhythm of the unseen. It knows that heaven moves on rhythm, not resistance, that the moment you release the word, the clock of spirit begins to turn. You are not delayed, you are being aligned. You are not forgotten, you are being prepared for receipt. Every decree you make in faith sets a time in motion, a divine countdown, a spiritual appointment. And though it may not arrive by the calendar of man, it will never miss its divine hour. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Habakkuk 2:3. Do not confuse silence with absence. Do not confuse waiting with denial. Do not confuse stillness with void. The law never forgets what was spoken in truth. There is a rhythm under the surface, a cadence in the spirit, and that which is yours by divine right cannot be denied, cannot be lost, cannot be stolen, cannot be missed. It is marked with your frequency. It is tied to your name in the heavens. It will arrive at the precise moment you are most ready to carry it. Not just hold it, not just spend it, but sustain it, multiply it, protect it, honor it. And until then, speak not as one waiting. Speak as one aligning. Say now, my timing is perfect because I am in alignment. My good cannot be early and it cannot be late. It arrives on divine appointment. It meets me while I rest. It finds me in faith. Say it again and again until your mind is no longer rushing, until your breath softens, until your soul begins to rise in peace. For peace is the language of trust, and trust is the condition for perfect timing. There is no competition in spirit, no scarcity in the divine realm. What is yours is not waiting in line. It is orbiting you, waiting for your vibration to match its call. You do not need to force it to come. You need only to remain in the decree. Let your word remain standing, even when your eyes see no proof. Let your decree remain unwavering, even when time tests your patience. For the spoken word does not weaken with waiting. It strengthens. It gathers force. It ripens beneath the surface. And at the appointed time, it breaks forth as manifestation. The clock of man ticks. The calendar of earth turns. But the timing of heaven flows. It does not hurry. It does not hesitate. It meets the voice that refuses to fold. The one who speaks as if it is done, because in spirit it is. The one who does not ask, "Where is it?" but says, "It is coming to me now. It is moving through the law. It is being drawn to my decree." This is not denial. This is dominion. This is not pretending. This is partnering with divine law. And as you lie down to sleep, rest in the rhythm. Rest in the pulse of heaven. Rest in the promise that your unshakable decree is enough. You do not need to repeat the word out of fear. It has already been heard. You do not need to chase what was already dispatched. Simply hold your vibration, maintain your atmosphere. Let the decree remain alive on your lips and calm in your spirit. Say again, "The time is set. The answer is sure. The delivery is divine. I do not need to watch the clock. I need only to keep the faith." And as this truth saturates your consciousness, the fear of missing out begins to dissolve. The pressure to rush begins to fade. And in its place, the frequency of completion begins to hum. The rhythm of arrival begins to play through your energy field. And the timing that once felt like a mystery begins to feel like a certainty wrapped in stillness. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be for what is divinely yours to locate you. And when you know this, when you feel this, when you speak from this sacred alignment, you no longer ask the time. You become the timing. The kingdom of supply is within, waiting for your voice. It is not beyond the stars. It is not buried in distant lands. It is not locked behind effort or found through the approval of others. It is within you now, quiet, holy, unlimited. For the kingdom of God cometh not with observation, neither shall they say, "Lo here," or "Lo there." For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Luke 17:21. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is spiritual reality. The treasure you seek is not far from you. It does not dwell in banks. It does not hide in opportunity. It does not exist in some future self. It waits in silence, waiting for your voice to remember its authority. The moment you speak from truth, the kingdom opens. The moment you declare from spirit, the gates swing wide. The storehouses begin to pour. The rivers begin to flow. Not because you found something new, but because you remembered what was always yours. The supply is not summoned. It is spoken into view. When you say, "I receive," you unlock what has been sealed by forgetfulness. When you say, "It is mine," you melt the illusion of distance. When you say, "I am provided for," the law responds, because it has no choice. It is written, it is finished, and it is governed by decree. You do not need to fight for supply. You do not need to force abundance. You need only to align your vibration with the truth that abundance already lives within you. Speak now as one who carries heaven. Speak now as one who knows the Spirit dwells within. Speak now as one who remembers that lack is not your birthright, overflow is. Speak until your soul becomes the key. Speak until your words sound like rivers. Speak until the veil is torn and the truth returns to your breath. Say, "The kingdom of supply is within me. I command it to rise. I release what is mine by divine right." Do not search outward. The world reflects your belief, not your worth. The world is a mirror to your inner decree. What you believe you carry, the world must reveal. What you declare is yours, the law must arrange. The law does not judge. The law does not debate. The law does not pause to consider your history. It moves by alignment. It manifests what matches the vibration of your soul. And when you believe that you are the vessel of divine supply, your outer life begins to bow in agreement. You are not broken. You are not empty. You are not behind. You are not unworthy. You are the house of the holy. You are the temple of provision. You are the image and likeness of the one who called light out of darkness and said, "It is good." You are not separate from your source. You are the extension of it. And everything that is good and perfect has already been placed within your reach, through the kingdom that lives in you. Let your voice now become the sound that wakes the inner treasury. Let your decree be the light that opens the chamber doors. You are not begging, you are not hoping, you are not asking from outside the gate. You are speaking from within the throne room. You are commanding from the center of heaven's abundance. The vault is open when the voice aligns. The gates respond to the soul that no longer doubts its authority. Say it again. The kingdom of supply is within. It is full. It is ready. It is mine by divine inheritance. I release it now. I speak it forth. I see it made manifest. Let these words wrap your being. Let them settle into your cells. Let them fill the atmosphere like incense rising. The law is listening. The soul is remembering. The supply is moving, not because you earned it, but because you claimed it. There is no more delay when you realize it was never far. There is no more struggle when you know it was never locked. And as you fall into sleep, let these words carry you like waves. The kingdom is within. The supply is within. My voice is the door. Say it again and again, and the night shall carry your decree into the dawn. Now is the appointed hour. Now is the holy moment where soul and spirit unite in remembrance. You are not hoping anymore. You are knowing. You are not waiting anymore. You are commanding. The veil is lifted. The law is active. The word is in motion. The kingdom is within, and your voice is the opening. I now speak my desire into form. It appears in divine order by divine law without delay. I now speak my desire into form. It appears in divine order by divine law without delay. I now speak my desire into form. It appears in divine order by divine law without delay. Heaven hears. Law responds, the gates are open, the storehouse is full, and I am no longer outside looking in. I am seated in the center of divine supply. I do not chase, I call. I do not force, I speak. I do not strive, I decree. My word is law. My decree is sacred. My speech creates substance. I speak with holy boldness. I command with divine authority. I declare with spiritual precision. What I speak, I see. What I decree, I receive. My voice is no longer silent. My power is no longer dormant. I activate the kingdom within by the sound of my faith. I no longer fear delay. I no longer speak of lack. I no longer question what has already been given. I speak as one who has. I declare as one who knows. I rest as one who reigns. Everything I need is already here. Everything I desire is already mine. Everything I have spoken is already unfolding. I am the living demonstration of divine supply. I am the vessel of wealth, peace, favor, and overflow. I am the voice of completion, the echo of fulfillment, the decree of heaven on earth. Let every word I have spoken now return fulfilled. Let the law be sealed. Let the rhythm continue. Let the evidence appear, not by chance, but by divine design. And so it is.
There is no delay in the workings of divine law. The river of abundance flows ceaselessly, and it flows to you the moment you declare it. To speak the word of prosperity is to strike the match that lights the flame, and the universe, ever attentive, rushes to fulfill it. Riches are not a distant promise, not something earned in toil and struggle, but the natural inheritance of one who knows the power of thought and word. The instant you align your mind with the truth of plenty, the instant you cast out the illusion of lack, the riches of heaven and earth stand revealed. The world has taught many that wealth comes slowly, through years of strain, through bargains and battles. Yet the Spirit whispers otherwise. It is already done. To the soul attuned there is no waiting. Supply is at hand, here now. The instant you claim it with unwavering faith, the doors swing wide. You are not begging for treasure, you are remembering it is yours. The subconscious, that faithful servant, obeys the picture impressed upon it. If you paint images of limitation, it will deliver lack. But the moment you hold fast to the picture of riches, radiant and secure, it hastens to bring it forth. Every word is a seed, every declaration bears fruit. Say, I am rich in mind, body, and affairs, and see how swiftly the outer world reflects the inner decree. There is no power in poverty except the power you grant it. Fear of loss, fear of delay, fear of never having enough. These shadows melt when the light of truth is spoken. You need not wait a lifetime. You need not labor under burdens, for riches belong to the one who dares to stand fearless in faith. The universe loves speed. It loves a heart that is quick to believe. The supply does not trickle. It bursts forth the instant you align with its flow. Picture it clearly. Wealth arriving at your doorstep, unexpected channels opening, opportunities cascading without effort. This is not a dream to be postponed. It is the instant reality when you match your thought to the law of abundance. Nothing can withhold what belongs to you, for your riches are part of the divine plan. The treasures of heaven pour down, like rain the moment you call them forth. When the mind is filled with gratitude, with expectation, with unwavering assurance, the riches come as surely as day follows night. Do not look at appearances, for appearances deceive. Instead, hold your vision steady, declare your prosperity, and know it is instant. What you seek is seeking you with equal speed. Wealth is not a far-off shore, it is the ground beneath your feet. And the moment you awaken to this truth, the gold appears, the channels open, the riches rush in. Wealth is instant when thought aligns with divine law. To many, this statement may appear mystical, even improbable. For they have been trained from childhood to believe that riches must be earned only through years of labor, through effort, through calculation, through sacrifice. Yet the law of the Spirit does not operate on the same timetable as the law of man. Divine law recognizes no delay, no waiting, no postponement. The moment a thought of abundance is spoken with certainty, the instant it is clothed in faith, it is already accomplished. What seems to be the slow unfolding of riches is but the appearance, the outward picture. In truth, the inner reality of wealth is immediate. And as soon as the individual allows his thought to rise into harmony with that truth, the substance appears. The key lies not in outer striving, but in the alignment of the inner vision. Thought is the builder of the world you experience. And thought charged with faith is the most powerful force you can wield. When the mind declares lack, the world echoes back lack, for the subconscious only knows to obey. When the mind declares wealth, believing without doubt that riches are already present, then wealth rushes in, sometimes through expected channels, sometimes through strange and surprising ones, but always in perfect timing. This is not magic. Though it may feel miraculous, it is law. Just as the law of gravity acts without fail, the law of supply responds without hesitation. The instant thought aligns with it, the results are set in motion. Consider how swiftly thought operates. In a moment, one can imagine standing in a palace, holding treasures, feeling clothed in beauty and abundance. That image is created in less than a heartbeat, and the subconscious registers it at once. Now, if that picture is maintained, if it is impressed deeply, the outer world must adjust itself to reflect it. The richness of life, the opportunities, the prosperity that you have seen in the inner world come pressing into form in the outer. Many delay their good only because they doubt, and doubt is simply thought misaligned. Doubt says, it will take time, it may never happen, I am not worthy, while faith says, it is already done, and I claim it now. The difference between waiting a lifetime and receiving in an instant is nothing more than the vibration of thought. When thought aligns with divine law, the individual steps out of limitation and enters the flow of endless supply. Divine law is abundance itself, ever giving, never withholding. It does not measure, it does not ration. It pours forth ceaselessly, awaiting only the open channel of the receptive mind. The moment you open the channel by aligning your thought, by speaking the word of wealth, the riches flow. You may have noticed how, in times of certainty, money seems to appear easily, while in times of fear, everything seems to be withheld. This is not chance. This is the exact outworking of law. Wealth is not a matter of circumstances but of consciousness. Think of the seed planted in the earth. Within it lies the full pattern of the harvest. The instant it is placed in the soil, the process of growth begins. Though the eye may not yet see the sprout, the seed has already responded, the invisible work has already been set in motion. So it is with wealth. The moment you plant the thought of riches in the fertile soil of divine law, the process begins instantly. The harvest is inevitable, though appearances may suggest delay. If you trust the law, you know it is already complete. The only work is to maintain the alignment of thought, to keep the picture clear, to water it with words of affirmation, and to shield it from the weeds of fear. Wealth is instant, but humans often bind themselves to time. They believe they must wait, strive, prove, or labor endlessly. Yet divine law knows no time. It is eternal present. What you claim in thought is already yours in the unseen. To align with this truth is to collapse the illusion of waiting. You step into the eternal now, where wealth exists as fully and abundantly as the air you breathe. Air does not trickle toward you slowly. It rushes to fill every space. Riches, too, are the same substance. The instant your thought aligns, you are filled with the breath of prosperity. It is not effort that unlocks riches but receptivity. The mind that is anxious, that strives and strains, is like a clenched fist. It cannot receive. But the mind that rests in divine law, that says, I know my wealth is instant, I know my supply is here and now, is like an open hand. Into that open hand, riches flow freely. Aligning thought with divine law is therefore not a struggle but a release. Not an effort but a surrender to the truth that abundance is natural. Poverty is unnatural, a false belief, a shadow created by fear. When thought is aligned with truth, the shadow dissolves instantly, and the substance of wealth stands revealed. One may say, but I see no evidence of wealth around me. Yet appearances are deceptive. The field may seem barren before the harvest, but the harvest is already determined in the seed. What you do not yet see with the eye is already real in the unseen. To align thought with divine law is to hold fast to that unseen reality, to declare it more real than appearances, to live from it even before it has stepped into form. The moment you do, the process is instant. The riches begin their swift approach, and often they arrive through avenues you never imagined. The law is infinite in its methods. Those who wait for wealth often wait endlessly because they are looking outward rather than inward. They seek in opportunity, in circumstance, in effort. Yet wealth is not found there. It is found in the alignment of thought with the eternal law of supply. The moment thought declares the truth, the outer world reorganizes itself to bring it forth. It may appear as new work, as a sudden gift, as an unexpected channel, or as the release of something long delayed. But no matter the channel, the law remains instant. It is not the world that delays. It is thought misaligned that creates the illusion of delay. Wealth is instant when thought aligns with divine law, because there is no separation between the inner and outer worlds. The outer is but the mirror of the inner. Align the inner with truth, and the mirror reflects it without hesitation. The riches you seek are already around you, awaiting only your recognition. They are like treasures buried just beneath the surface, invisible until you say, I know they are here, and I claim them now. The act of alignment uncovers them at once. Words spoken with faith unlock immediate supply. Every syllable uttered carries a vibration, and that vibration sets in motion the unseen forces that shape the visible world. Words are not mere sounds, they are commands to the subconscious, blueprints of reality, decrees that the universe rushes to fulfill. When words are spoken in fear and doubt, in complaint, they summon limitation and lack. When words are spoken with faith, unwavering and certain, they summon abundance with a swiftness that seems miraculous. The supply you seek is already prepared, already complete, and it stands at the threshold waiting for the key. That key is the word spoken in faith. The mind may imagine that riches are slow to arrive, that they require long seasons of toil, But the moment the word of prosperity is declared with conviction, the doors of supply swing wide. Words are seeds, and every seed contains within it the pattern of its harvest. Speak the word, wealth, and wealth begins its swift journey to you. Speak the word, success, and success races to meet you. The power lies not in the word alone, but in the faith that infuses it. A word spoken half-heartedly, with doubt clinging to it, drifts without force. But a word spoken with faith burns through resistance, pierces appearances, and calls forth substance instantly. Faith is the life in the word. It is the assurance that what you say is already so. Without faith, the word is an empty shell. With faith, the word is a living force. Consider how in moments of certainty you have spoken. I know this will happen. And it came to pass almost immediately. This is the operation of law. The spoken word, clothed in the garment of faith, is irresistible. Nothing can stand against it, because it is aligned with the higher law of abundance that governs all creation. There is no limit to what words can summon when spoken with faith. The subconscious, ever obedient, takes the words you give it and translates them into experience. It does not argue, it does not delay, it does not reason. It obeys. If you say, "Money flows to me now in perfect ways," with complete conviction, the subconscious accepts it as truth and begins at once to bring it into visible form. Supply may arrive through unexpected checks, gifts, opportunities, or the sudden dissolving of obstacles, but arrive it must. For once the word has been spoken in faith, the law is set in motion, and nothing can halt it. Words are bridges between the unseen and the seen. They carry ideas from the realm of spirit into the world of matter. The universe listens attentively, ever ready to respond. Speak words of lack, and you cross the bridge into want. Speak words of wealth, and you cross the bridge into plenty. Faith determines the strength of the bridge. Weak words collapse under doubt. Strong words, filled with conviction, carry the full weight of your desire into manifestation. The bridge holds firm because it rests on the eternal foundation of divine law. It is not effort that brings supply swiftly, but the word charged with faith. Many strive with action, believing they must push and pull to obtain. Yet without the word spoken in faith, their labor is empty, slow, and burdened. Another, who speaks the word with certainty, finds the same supply rushing to him with ease. The difference lies not in fortune but in the law. Words spoken with faith carry the authority of spirit itself, and spirit does not delay. The supply appears in the outer world as soon as the inner command is given. Think of a command given to a faithful servant. The instant the command is spoken, the servant begins to act. So it is with the subconscious and the universe. They are ever listening, ever ready to respond. If you say, "I never have enough," they obey at once, arranging conditions to match your decree. If you say, "I am richly supplied now," and you speak it with faith, they obey equally, arranging circumstances to deliver your good. The law is impartial. It does not choose what to give you. It gives according to your words, and your words carry power only when they are spoken with faith. Faith is not a vague hope, nor a timid wish. It is a knowing, an inner certainty that what you say is truth. When you declare wealth with faith, you do not look around to see whether appearances confirm it. You know it already exists in the unseen, and that knowledge infuses your words with creative force. Appearances may whisper otherwise, but faith does not waver. Faith speaks as though the thing were already done, because in truth it is. The moment the word is spoken, the supply is released. To cultivate this power, guard your words carefully. Do not speak idly of lack, of poverty, of fear. Every word is a command, and careless words summon conditions you do not desire. Speak always from the place of faith, declaring what you wish as though it were already here. Say, "Wealth surrounds me now, prosperity flows to me in perfect ways," and say it with conviction. Feel the truth of it as you speak. The subconscious cannot resist such a declaration. It is compelled to manifest it, and the universe moves swiftly to bring the evidence. There are those who have found that even a single word, spoken with burning faith, has overturned years of limitation. One word of truth, charged with certainty, can sweep away mountains of doubt. It is not the length of speech that matters, but the power within it. A single phrase, uttered with complete belief, can change a life instantly. The supply that seems far away comes rushing near, for the word has unlocked it. Words spoken with faith are like keys turning in a lock. The treasures of the universe are behind the door, already waiting. Faith turns the key, and the door swings wide without resistance. The supply does not trickle or delay. It pours forth the moment the lock is opened. The door was never barred except by unbelief. Words of doubt jam the key, keeping the door closed. Words of faith turn it smoothly, effortlessly, and the riches flow in abundance. The practice is simple yet profound. To align with supply, you must align your words. To align your words, you must align your faith. Speak only what you wish to see, and speak it with the authority of one who knows the universe obeys. Do not beg, do not plead, do not wonder. Declare with assurance, and the law responds. This is why words spoken with faith unlock immediate supply. The supply is not created by your words, it already exists in infinite measure. Your words simply release it, direct it, and allow it to pour into your experience. The subconscious manifests the images impressed upon it. The inner mind, silent and tireless, holds within it the creative workshop where every experience of life is first shaped. It does not reason, it does not debate. It does not question whether what you impress upon it is desirable or destructive. It simply takes the picture you provide and begins its faithful work of reproduction. Just as soil does not choose which seeds it will bring forth, but yields whatever is planted, the subconscious accepts every image as law. When you understand this truth, you see that life is not the result of chance, but of pictures carefully or carelessly impressed upon the inner mind. Every thought, every word, every image you hold with feeling etches itself upon the subconscious. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting those impressions. If fear is painted there, fear appears in experience. If wealth is painted there, wealth manifests in affairs. The subconscious is the hidden power that never sleeps, that labors without rest, that builds tirelessly day and night, weaving conditions to match the pictures given to it. To master your life, you must master the images you impress. Impressions are not made by fleeting thoughts, but by thoughts charged with emotion, by words spoken with conviction, by visions repeated until they sink deeply into the fertile soil of the subconscious. A casual thought may pass without effect, but a thought wrapped in strong feeling leaves a mark that cannot be erased easily. This is why worry is so destructive. It is not idle thought but thought charged with fear, repeated again and again, until the subconscious accepts it as truth and shapes conditions of lack, loss, or difficulty. Likewise, this is why affirmations spoken with faith are powerful. They impress the picture of abundance upon the inner mind until it becomes the only truth it knows, and then the outer world shifts to match. The subconscious does not recognize time. It does not say, "This image is for the future." It acts in the eternal now, arranging circumstances with immediacy. This explains why sudden breakthroughs can occur when one finally impresses a clear, unwavering picture. It also explains why repeated fear produces repeated setbacks. The subconscious is impartial. It is a faithful servant. It brings forth in your life not what you desire vaguely, but what you image clearly and accept as real. When a person continually pictures struggle, the subconscious accepts struggle as their portion and reproduces it. Yet when a person holds the steady image of ease and abundance, refusing to let appearances of lack erase it, the subconscious begins its invisible work. It draws opportunities, opens channels, and inspires actions that align with the vision. What seems miraculous to the outside observer is simply the law of impression and expression at work. The subconscious manifests what is impressed upon it, whether that impression was made deliberately or unconsciously. To work with this power, one must first take charge of the images allowed to rest in the mind. Idle daydreams of failure, anxious rehearsals of disaster, constant talk of limitation. All these are seeds of the harvest one does not wish to reap. They slip quietly into the subconscious, and begin their work of creation. To reverse them, one must replace them with deliberate images of the desired good. If wealth is sought, the image of wealth must be painted vividly. Seeing oneself in possession of abundance, feeling the security of it, speaking words that affirm it. The more real the picture becomes in the inner world, the sooner it steps into the outer. The subconscious is impressed most strongly by repetition and emotion. A single affirmation, spoken once without feeling, may pass without leaving a mark, but an affirmation repeated daily, with faith and joy, etches itself deep. Visualization, too, when practiced with feeling, impresses powerfully. To see oneself in possession of the good desired, to feel the emotions that would accompany it, to dwell on that vision until it becomes more real than appearances. This is the method by which the subconscious is directed. Once impressed, it cannot fail to manifest, for the law of expression follows inevitably after the law of impression. Every invention, every work of art, every fortune, every success has followed this pattern. The image is first created within, then brought forth without. The sculptor sees the figure in the block of marble before the chisel strikes. The architect holds the vision of the building before a single stone is laid. The wealthy man or woman imagines abundance before it appears in their account. The subconscious, once given the image, draws to it the material, the opportunity, the people, and the circumstances necessary. It works through channels unseen and sometimes mysterious, but always effective. Even those who do not understand the law are subject to it. Their lives reflect the images impressed unconsciously through worry, fear, resentment, or doubt. They may say, "I never wanted this." Yet their inner pictures tell another story. The subconscious did not ask what they wanted. It only manifested what they continually imaged. This is why awareness is essential. To live unconsciously is to sow carelessly. To live consciously is to sow deliberately, knowing that every inner picture will one day stand before you in form. The subconscious is not swayed by arguments of reason, but by the persistence of images. You may reason, "I should not be poor." Yet if you continually picture yourself as poor, the subconscious accepts poverty as reality. You may argue, "I deserve wealth." Yet if you secretly imagine lack, the subconscious produces lack. It is not logic but vision that impresses it. This is why affirmations must be felt as true, why visualizations must be lived inwardly as though real. The subconscious does not distinguish between actual and imagined experience, it treats both alike. Impress upon it the imagined as though it were fact, and it sets to work producing it in fact. The process is as sure as the rising of the sun. Impression precedes expression. The inner always shapes the outer. The subconscious is the silent craftsman behind the scenes, and the images you hand it are the blueprints. Hand it images of lack and it builds lack. Hand it images of plenty and it builds plenty. It never ceases, it never questions, it never fails. It is the faithful builder of your world, and it manifests the images impressed upon it with perfect precision. Fear and delay dissolve under unwavering assurance. Fear is the great robber of life, the shadow that blinds the eyes to abundance already prepared. Delay is its companion, convincing the mind that good must wait, that supply is far off, that wealth will come someday if at all. Yet both fear and delay vanish when the soul stands firm in assurance, when it knows beyond question that what is claimed in truth is already fulfilled. Assurance is the light that scatters the darkness of fear, the fire that melts the ice of delay, the certainty that calls abundance into instant appearance. Fear whispers of loss, of lack, of failure. It paints pictures of closed doors and barren fields. The subconscious, if not guarded, accepts these pictures and begins to reproduce them, creating conditions that seem to justify the fear. But fear has no power of its own. It lives only where faith is absent. The moment assurance takes its place, fear dissolves like mist before the sun. Assurance declares, "I cannot lose, for my good is secure, I cannot lack, for supply is infinite. I cannot fail, for success is written into divine law." These words, spoken with conviction, leave no room for fear. The subconscious accepts them and sets in motion the swift outworking of prosperity. Delay, too, is but an illusion born of doubt. The mind says, perhaps later, perhaps tomorrow, perhaps next year, and so the subconscious obeys, arranging conditions that keep wealth always just out of reach. Assurance does not postpone. Assurance says, now is the appointed time, this instant my good appears. In that certainty, the law responds with speed. The universe loves decisiveness, for it mirrors the eternal present where divine law operates. Delay cannot survive when assurance speaks in the language of now. To live in unwavering assurance is to live in mastery. It is to refuse the pictures fear presents, and to replace them with pictures of fulfillment. It is to look at appearances that seem empty and declare, behind this appearance my abundance already waits. Assurance is not arrogance, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the calm knowledge that the law of supply cannot fail, and that once the word has been spoken, the result is inevitable. Just as one who plants a seed does not fear that the harvest will not come, but rests in the assurance that the seed will bear after its kind, so does the one who lives in faith rest secure, knowing that abundance must appear. Fear thrives on uncertainty, on hesitation, on double-mindedness. When the mind wavers between belief and doubt, the door is left open for fear to enter. Assurance closes the door. Assurance is single-eyed, unwavering, fixed. It sees only the good desired and refuses to consider anything else. In this fixed gaze, fear has no foothold. In this steady stance, delay has no place. The subconscious receives the clear impression of certainty, and conditions quickly adjust to reflect it. Consider how quickly life changes when assurance is established. One may struggle for years in fear, waiting, postponing, doubting. Yet in the moment of true assurance, when the heart says, "It is done," events shift almost instantly. Opportunities appear where none were before. Channels open, obstacles dissolve. This is not accident but the precise operation of law. The law responds not to fear, not to indecision, but to assurance. The stronger the assurance, the swifter the response. Fear often disguises itself as caution, as reason, as practicality. It whispers, "Be careful, do not expect too much, prepare for disappointment." Yet beneath these masks lies the same paralysis, the same resistance to faith. Assurance, on the other hand, may appear reckless to the fearful, but in truth it is alignment with reality. Reality is abundance, for the universe is infinite supply. To expect less is to believe in an illusion of lack. Assurance aligns the mind with truth, and truth always dissolves illusion. Delay feeds upon the habit of postponement. Many say, "I will prosper when conditions change, when opportunities come, when circumstances improve." In saying so, they push their good into the future, and the subconscious obliges by keeping it there. Assurance says, "My conditions change because I change my thought. My opportunities come because I call them forth. My circumstances improve because I align with abundance now." By removing the idea of waiting, assurance removes the very root of delay. The practice of assurance begins with thought, but must be carried into word and action. Speak words of certainty. My supply is here, my wealth flows now, my success is secure. Speak them without wavering, without entertaining the shadow of contradiction. Let every word carry the ring of assurance, and the subconscious will record them as law. Then act as though they are already true, for assurance does not wait for proof before it believes. Assurance acts from the invisible reality, and the visible must follow. The body itself responds to assurance. Fear weakens, drains, and scatters energy. Assurance strengthens, steadies, and focuses it. When assurance fills the mind, the body moves with confidence, decisions are made with clarity, and steps are taken with boldness. These outward actions become channels through which abundance flows. Fear closes channels, delay blocks movement, but assurance opens every pathway. Examples abound of those who shifted their lives by moving from fear to assurance. A person may have lived in scarcity, always dreading bills, always fearing loss, always waiting for better days. Yet the moment they affirmed with unwavering certainty, "I am divinely supplied and richly prospered now," and truly felt it as real, conditions began to rearrange. Money flowed from unexpected sources. Opportunities arose without effort, and the long years of delay dissolved in an instant. The change was not in the outer world first, but in the inner stance of assurance. The subconscious, ever faithful, reflects whatever is impressed upon it. When fear is impressed, it reflects conditions that justify fear. When assurance is impressed, it reflects conditions that justify assurance. The outer world simply mirrors the inner certainty or the inner hesitation. This is why unwavering assurance is so powerful. It leaves no gap for fear to creep in, no space for delay to settle. It creates a clear and definite picture, and the subconscious rushes to fulfill it. To cultivate assurance, one must practice persistence. Fear will attempt to return with its shadows, whispering of danger and lack. Delay will attempt to creep back with suggestions of waiting. But each time, assurance must answer firmly. I know my good is secure now. Each repetition strengthens the impression, until the subconscious accepts assurance as the only reality. Once this happens, fear and delay have no hold. The law moves freely, supply flows swiftly, and the abundance that was always present stands revealed. Gratitude and expectation call riches forth swiftly. Gratitude is the recognition that abundance already exists. That the good desired is not distant but present. That every breath, every moment, every provision is evidence of infinite supply. Expectation is the confident anticipation of greater good, the poised assurance that more is continually arriving, that life cannot withhold, that wealth is always on its way. Together, gratitude and expectation form a magnetic force that draws prosperity instantly. Gratitude acknowledges the riches at hand, expectation opens the door for richer blessings yet unseen. When both are cultivated, the flow of supply becomes immediate and ceaseless. Gratitude is not merely polite thanks spoken in passing. It is a vibration of the soul, a recognition of the divine order where nothing is lacking. To give thanks is to affirm possession. When you say, I am grateful, you declare that you already hold the good in your hand, and by that declaration the subconscious is impressed with the image of wealth. It accepts gratitude as fact and proceeds to mirror it in the outer world. The one who practices gratitude lives as though riches are already theirs, and the law must confirm their vision. Expectation adds the element of forward motion. Gratitude anchors you in present abundance. Expectation carries you into future abundance. Expectation says, I know that more is coming, and I am ready for it. The subconscious responds to expectation by preparing channels, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities. Just as a guest arrives more surely when the house is prepared and the door left open, so does supply arrive when the heart waits with expectation. To expect wealth is to create the space for it, to clear the path, to signal readiness. Without expectation, even the greatest abundance may pass unnoticed, for the mind is not prepared to receive. When gratitude and expectation are combined, they form a perfect circuit of prosperity. Gratitude says, I have, and expectation says, I will continue to have. Gratitude fixes the mind in the truth of abundance now, and expectation keeps the flow unbroken. Together they dissolve fear, silence doubt, and sweep away delay. The subconscious, receiving these impressions, is filled with images of riches both present and to come, and so it produces them without resistance. This is why those who live in gratitude and expectation seem to draw good things effortlessly. The law is working swiftly through their inner state. Gratitude has the power to transform even appearances of lack. When faced with little, the grateful heart says, I thank you for the supply that is here, and I know it multiplies. That act of recognition shifts the image in the subconscious from insufficiency to sufficiency, from want to wealth. The law responds by increasing supply, often in ways that surprise and delight. Expectation then carries the increase further, declaring, this is only the beginning. Greater good is on its way. In this atmosphere, riches cannot help but appear. For the mind is aligned with the truth of endless abundance. Consider how the ungrateful and doubtful live. They focus on what is missing, on what has not yet arrived, on the gaps rather than the gifts. Their words are filled with complaint, their thoughts with scarcity. The subconscious accepts these impressions and reproduces more lack, more gaps, more scarcity. Life seems to confirm their complaints, not because the universe is hostile, but because it is obedient. Gratitude and expectation reverse this cycle entirely. They impress images of plenty, and the subconscious rushes to reproduce plenty. The outer world begins to match the inner song of thanksgiving and anticipation. Gratitude lifts the vibration of thought. When you give thanks, you cannot dwell on fear. Gratitude turns the eyes toward what is present, what is working, what is already supplied. It fills the heart with lightness, and that lightness becomes a magnet. Expectation sustains the vibration. It keeps the channel open, refusing to allow stagnation or doubt. It carries the energy forward, ensuring that supply never ceases. Just as a river flows because it is both received and released, so does abundance flow where gratitude receives and expectation releases. The more one practices these two, the faster the current becomes. The practice of gratitude can be as simple as speaking thanks for the smallest provision, for every meal, for every opportunity, for every breath. Each act of gratitude reinforces the image of abundance. The subconscious hears, I have enough, I am supplied, I am blessed, and it takes this as fact, building experiences that match. The practice of expectation can be as simple as speaking confidently of future good, saying, wonderful things are on their way. Wealth is coming swiftly, opportunities are opening. Each declaration impresses the subconscious with the certainty of increase, and so the law hastens to provide it. There are countless testimonies of those who transformed their lives by these two practices. One who lived in lack began to give thanks daily for what little they had, praising it as though it were plenty, and soon more began to appear. As they coupled this with expectation, declaring, more is on the way, greater riches are coming, their supply multiplied rapidly. Another who had struggled for years in doubt shifted to gratitude for every small success and expectation of larger ones. And within a short time doors opened that had been closed for decades. What seems miraculous is simply the outworking of law responding to clear impressions. Gratitude is the affirmation of the present, expectation the assurance of the future. Together they cover the whole of life. Gratitude roots you firmly in the wealth you already possess, preventing fear of loss. Expectation lifts you toward the wealth yet to come, preventing stagnation. Both dissolve the illusion of limitation, leaving only the truth of abundance. The subconscious, filled with images of present and future supply, cannot fail to reproduce them. Thus riches are called forth swiftly, not after long waiting, but in the instant the inner state is aligned. Even the body and spirit respond to gratitude and expectation. Gratitude fills the body with health, for it directs attention to vitality rather than weakness. Expectation fills the spirit with energy, for it directs attention to possibility rather than defeat. Together they create a radiant atmosphere, and in such an atmosphere opportunities, wealth, and success are naturally attracted. Just as flowers turn toward sunlight, so does abundance turn toward the grateful and expectant heart. To live in gratitude and expectation is to live in a constant stream of supply. The mind no longer clings to fear of not enough, nor to the doubt of delay. It is continually saying, thank you for what is, thank you for what is coming. It is continually seeing wealth in hand and wealth on the way. This steady practice impresses the subconscious so deeply that it becomes automatic, and the outer life becomes a continuous unfolding of prosperity.
I speak the word of abundance. I speak the word of divine supply. I now erase from my mind every thought of lack, limitation, and fear. There is no lack in divine mind, and I am one with the divine mind. Therefore there is no lack in my life. I walk in the light of infinite riches. I live in the consciousness of unlimited wealth. The floodgates of abundance are now open, and the riches of the universe are pouring into my life freely, fully, and without delay. I do not strain. I do not worry. I do not chase. I magnetize. I attract. I receive. All that is mine by divine right is now released to me. It is mine by divine law. It is mine by divine timing. I let go of anxiety, and I claim my supply. God is my immediate and eternal source of supply. I do not look to man, I do not look to circumstance, I do not look to the world, I look to God. And God never fails. Therefore, I cannot fail. Therefore, money cannot fail to come to me. It is already on its way. I praise its arrival. I rejoice in its increase. I bless its flow. Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. Again I say, large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. Every bill is paid, every need is met, every desire is fulfilled. I do not beg, I receive. I do not fear, I know. I do not doubt, I speak the word, and the word does not return void. The law of prosperity is now working for me. The law of good is now established in my life. What is mine cannot be held back. What is mine cannot be delayed. What is mine flows to me with divine timing and divine order. I now stand fearless before the invisible. I speak the word of faith, and the word becomes flesh. I declare, riches are mine now. Opportunities are mine now. Perfect channels are opening now. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. Under grace, in perfect ways, God is my supply. God is my source. I turn away from appearances. I turn away from fear. I turn away from numbers and news and noise. I look to the infinite. I look to the one mind, the one power, the one source. I lift my vision above the facts and fix it upon the truth. And the truth is, I am provided for. I am cared for. I am not forsaken, and I am never forgotten. All things I need, all things I seek, all things I desire are already complete in divine mind. There is no delay in spirit. There is no lack in spirit. There is only supply, flowing and full, endless and eternal. God is my supply, and I am connected to this supply through faith. I do not earn supply through effort. I do not force supply through fear. I receive supply through trust. I align with truth. I speak the word, and the word becomes flesh. I declare, I affirm, I know God is my supply. I rest in this knowing. I relax into this truth. I do not need to see it to believe it. I believe it, and then I see it. I do not chase, I attract. I do not doubt, I declare. I do not stress, I speak. And the word I speak is power. The word I speak is law. The word I speak moves the unseen and brings forth the seen. I now call upon my divine supply. I now claim my divine inheritance. I was never meant to live in lack. I was never meant to struggle. I was never meant to go without. These are lies of fear, not laws of God. The law of God is abundance. The law of God is sufficiency. The law of God is overflow, and I am under this law now. Not the law of man, but the law of spirit. I walk in a higher law. I live in a higher vibration. I move with faith and speak with authority. God is my supply, and large sums of money come to me, quickly and easily, under grace, in perfect ways. I speak it again. Large sums of money come to me, quickly and easily, under grace, in perfect ways. I do not worry how, I do not worry when, I only know the source. And the source is faithful. The source is endless. The source is mine. I now relax every muscle. I now soften every thought. I now silence every doubt. I am safe. I am still. I am supplied. I do not need to push. I do not need to beg. I do not need to hustle. I walk in trust. I walk in flow. I walk in favor. What is mine is flowing to me. What is mine cannot be blocked. What is mine cannot be delayed. What is mine by divine right. All channels are open now. All gates are unlocked now. All barriers are dissolved now. I let it come. I let it flow. I let it rise. God is my supply. I return to this truth again and again. I let it cover me like a blanket. I let it wash over me like water. I let it calm me like morning light. I am held. I am provided for. I am never alone. I speak this word as law. All that I need comes to me now. All that I desire comes to me now. All that I have asked for is already mine in spirit. I open to receive. I open with peace. I open with praise. I praise the unseen. I praise the invisible. I praise the process, for I know it is already done. My words are not empty. My words are seeds. I speak them in love. I speak them in power. I speak them in full faith. I do not need to feel ready, I already am. I do not need to make it happen, it already is. I place no limits on God. I remove all limits from my mind. I am worthy of wealth. I am worthy of ease. I am worthy of peace. I release every past belief of struggle. I release every thought of delay. I now declare, the money I need is here. The money I want is here. The money that belongs to me is here. It comes to me now in ways I cannot imagine. It comes to me now from channels I do not yet see. It comes to me now by divine direction. I give thanks for what is already mine. I give thanks in advance. I give thanks by faith. My heart is open. My life is ready. My spirit is steady. God is my supply. I shall not want. God is my supply. I do not fear. God is my supply. I am in peace. God is my supply. I am already rich in the unseen. I am already abundant in truth. I am already walking in my good. God is my supply, and I receive now. God is my supply, and I receive from that supply freely and fully. As I remain still in this truth, I begin to feel the soft movement of divine abundance unfolding around me. I do not need to grasp. I do not need to strive. I do not need to make anything happen. What is mine is drawn to me. What belongs to me finds me. What is prepared for me appears before me not through strain, but through spiritual alignment. I am a magnet, and my magnetism is made powerful by the words I speak and the faith I hold. I speak truth, and truth responds. I expect good, and good appears. I stand in the knowing that I am magnetic to every form of divine riches. The money I desire, the opportunities I long for, the blessings I silently pray for, they are already finding their way to me. I do not chase wealth. I do not run after money. I do not run after clients or contracts or coins. Instead, I stand in light. I stand in love. I stand in law. And I let the law do the lifting. I let the law bring it to me. I know that money does not come from people, it comes through people. I know that wealth does not come from a job, it comes through a job. The source is always God. The source is always spirit. And when I am aligned with my source, I cannot be denied what is already mine. My magnetism is not in my effort, it is in my energy. It is in my words. It is in my inner knowing. And I now affirm, I am a magnet for divine riches. Riches come in many forms, and I accept them all. I accept wealth in money. I accept wealth in ideas. I accept wealth in wisdom. I accept wealth in opportunities. I accept wealth in divine timing. I no longer turn away from the flow. I no longer limit how good can come. I no longer try to control the channels. I simply remain still, and I allow. I allow the floodgates to open. I allow the unexpected to show up. I allow the blessings to surprise me. Large sums of money come to me now, and I accept them with joy, with grace, with peace. There is no guilt in receiving. There is no fear in abundance. There is no shame in overflow. I was created to receive. I was created to expand. I was created to reflect divine fullness. I do not apologize for my wealth. I radiate it. I now draw to me what is aligned with my highest good. I draw clients who are kind. I draw money that is clean. I draw partnerships that are peaceful. I draw offers that are honest. I draw ideas that multiply. The better I feel, the more I attract. The more I trust, the faster it flows. The more I bless, the more I receive. My magnetism increases with praise. My magnetism expands with gratitude. My magnetism deepens with faith. And I do not need to feel perfect to receive. I do not need to perform to attract. I only need to return to truth. I only need to rest in faith. I only need to speak the word and expect results. And the word I now speak is, I am a magnet for money. I am a magnet for miracles. I am a magnet for increase. The law of attraction is not outside of mate, is the law of my own being. My words are commands. My thoughts are containers. My emotions are signals. And I now speak words of wealth. I now think thoughts of wealth. I now feel the vibration of wealth. I do not try to convince myself. I return to remembering. I remember who I am. I remember whose I am. I remember that I am backed by the power that shapes galaxies. I remember that money is not bigger than God. I remember that wealth is not outside of me, it is already within me, seeking expression. I now bless all that I have, and I magnetize more. I bless every coin, every dollar, every note that has ever come to me. I bless the hands it passed through. I bless the good it created. And I bless the greater that is coming. I open every part of myself to receive. My hands are open, my heart is open, my home is open, my life is open. I am no longer holding money out with doubt. I am no longer delaying money with fear. I am no longer pushing it away with guilt. I welcome it in with love. I welcome it in with joy. I welcome it in with trust. It finds me now. It reaches me now. It flows to me now. I do not question how, I only affirm that it is done. I allow it. I expect it. I receive it. I know who I am. I know what I carry. I know what I deserve. And what I deserve is already making its way to me now. I attract it. I draw it. I receive it. I am a magnet for divine riches. I am a magnet for divine riches, and because I am a magnet, the law of increase is always working for me. It cannot be turned off. It cannot be interrupted. It cannot be reversed. The law of increase is spiritual law, and spiritual law never fails. I do not need to see evidence before I believe in its power. I believe, and the evidence follows. I trust the law. I align with the law. I speak in harmony with the law. And I am now surrounded by a divine energy that causes everything I touch to multiply. Everything I give returns multiplied. Every word I speak returns magnified. Every good intention brings a harvest. There is no loss in spirit. There is only expansion, only multiplication, only increase. I do not shrink in fear. I do not contract in doubt. I do not hold back in panic. I release with love. I give with joy. I plant with expectation. I am always increasing. I am always rising. I am always growing. The money I spend returns tenfold. The good I give out circles back in greater form. The blessings I extend flow back into my life as abundance, as peace, as wealth. I am not afraid to give, for I know the source. I do not lose when I give. I rise when I give. I do not diminish when I release. I expand. Because the law of increase cannot be broken, and I live under that law. I live in that vibration. I move in that rhythm. I now release all past beliefs that told me I would run out. I release all memories that taught me that giving meant losing. I erase the old programming of fear, lack, and limitation. I no longer operate from the false belief that there is not enough. There is more than enough. There is always enough. There will forever be enough. I now speak the word of increase. I declare the law of growth. I affirm the power of expansion. I am open. I am ready. I am available to receive. I am available to give. I am available to multiply. I bless what I have. I look around me and I bless it. I bless my home. I bless my income. I bless my accounts. I bless my ideas. I bless my mind. I bless my body. I bless my life. I bless every dollar, no matter how small, and I watch it grow. What I bless increases. What I appreciate multiplies. What I thank expands. I walk through my day blessing every good thing. I bless the ones who give to me. I bless the ones I give to. I bless the store where I spend. I bless the clients who pay. I bless the strangers who cross my path. I walk in a constant state of increase, and everything around me is drawn into that vibration. I do not compare. I do not compete. I do not worry. The law of increase is personal. It is tailored to me. It meets me exactly where I am and takes me exactly where I am meant to be. There is no pressure. There is no urgency. There is no race. Increase happens in perfect timing, in perfect rhythm, in perfect grace. I relax into the knowing that every day I am expanding. Every moment I am growing. Even when I feel still, I am multiplying. Even when I feel quiet, I am increasing. Even when I do not see change, the change is happening beneath the surface. I plant seeds with every word. I plant seeds with every act of love. I plant seeds with every gift, every prayer, every blessing. And I never worry about the harvest. The harvest is guaranteed. The harvest is already forming. The harvest is always greater than the seed. So I give with open hands. I release with joy. I let go with peace. I allow the law to carry my gift forward and return it in multiplied form. I am no longer focused on how. I am focused on who. And the who is spirit. The who is the source. The who is always faithful. I speak the word of increase and the universe listens. I speak the word of increase and the world responds. I speak the word of increase and all things begin to move in my favor. I bless what I give, and I bless what comes back. I bless the cycle. I bless the process. I bless the law. I am no longer afraid of giving too much. I am no longer afraid of losing. I give in faith. I receive in joy. I rise in gratitude. I live in the flow of the law of increase. I live in the law of increase, and because I live in that law, what is mine cannot be lost. What is mine cannot be taken. What is mine cannot be denied. I do not beg for it. I do not chase after it. I do not force it into place. I do not need to hold it with fear or grip it with anxiety. I trust the higher law. I trust divine timing. I trust divine order. What belongs to me by divine right moves toward me now. What has my name on it is already finding me. It may come from a place I've never seen. It may flow from a hand I've never shaken. It may arrive through means I never imagined. But I do not need to know the how. I only rest in the knowing that what is mine is already moving toward me. I relax. I release. I receive. I do not stand in fear. I do not block the flow with doubt. I do not hold the door closed with worry. I open. I trust. I allow. All that I desire, all that I need, all that I asked for is on its way. I trust the delay is never a denial. I trust the wait is never a waste. I trust the time is always right. I trust the process. I trust the plan. I trust the power that governs all things. I do not look at the clock. I do not look at the calendar. I look at the truth. And the truth is, what is mine cannot miss me. No person can block it. No event can prevent it. No force can stop it. I am aligned with divine law. I am aligned with perfect order. I am aligned with the infinite. And the infinite never forgets. The infinite never fails. The infinite never runs out. I let go of all attachment. I let go of all fear of losing. I let go of all need to cling. If it is mine, it stays. If it is mine, it returns. If it is mine, it grows. I bless what leaves. I bless what returns. I bless what comes. I bless what goes. And I declare, I do not lose. I only align. The more I trust, the faster it flows. The more I rest, the more I receive. The more I bless, the more I expand. I now move through life with ease, knowing everything I desire is already unfolding. I do not rush the process. I do not resist the unfolding. I do not fear the unknown. I remain in peace. I remain in faith. I remain in grace. All things are working for my highest good. Even when I do not see it, it is working. Even when I do not feel it, it is working. Even when I do not understand it, it is working. I declare that everything meant for me is arriving in perfect order. I declare that everything prepared for me is appearing in divine timing. I declare that every door I need is opening now. I walk through life knowing I cannot miss what is mine. I cannot lose what belongs to me. I cannot be passed over for what has already been written with my name. There is no need to panic. There is no need to fear. There is no need to strive. I release the tension. I release the urgency. I release the need to control. I lean into trust. I lean into peace. I lean into divine wisdom. It knows the way. It leads the way. It clears the way. I step into the path of right action, right place, right time. I meet the right people. I hear the right words. I say the right yes. I know the right no. I am guided without confusion. I am protected without effort. I am provided for without fear. I now walk as one who is claimed by grace. I walk as one who is covered by spirit. I walk as one who has nothing to prove and nothing to fear. I do not explain myself. I do not defend what I know is mine. I hold my peace. I hold my posture. I hold my power. I now declare again, what is mine cannot be denied. It is drawn to me like a magnet. It reaches me with ease. It finds me in rest. It comes to me in peace. I let go of worry. I let go of control. I let go of doubt. I live by law. I speak with faith. I rest in grace. I open to receive. I open to receive because I trust the divine law that governs all things, and in this trust I now declare that money is my servant, not my master. Money serves me. Money flows to me and through me with divine purpose. Money is not my ruler. It does not command my worth. It does not define my value. It does not control my peace. I am not beneath it. I am above it. I do not bow to money. I bless it. I use it wisely. I command it by spiritual law. I am no longer afraid of it. I am no longer ruled by it. I now see money for what it is, a tool, a servant, a channel. It goes where I direct it. It grows where I plant it. It flows where I bless it. I do not speak of money with fear. I do not think of money with guilt. I do not act around money with confusion. I am calm. I am clear. I am grounded. I bless the money I have, and it multiplies. I use it with purpose, and it returns with increase. I let it go with joy, and it comes back with grace. Money is not my enemy. It is not something to chase. It is not something to fear. It is not something to worship. It is something I welcome, something I work with, something I hold lightly and wisely. I do not panic about money. I do not obsess about money. I do not hoard money. I flow with it. I cooperate with it. I honor it as a tool of the Spirit. I now declare that I am free from the chains of financial fear. I am free from lack thinking. I am free from survival energy. I am free from thoughts that told me I had to suffer for money. I release the idea that I must earn love by sacrifice. I release the belief that struggle is holy. I release the story that poverty is piety. I embrace the truth that abundance is alignment. I embrace the truth that wealth is a reflection of divine law. I embrace the truth that my finances are not my identity, they are my expression. I express truth. I express purpose. I express peace. And so, my money expresses peace too. I no longer allow money to lead me. I lead money. I lead it with vision. I lead it with clarity. I lead it with divine intention. I lead it with grace. I direct it toward good. I direct it toward healing. I direct it toward increase. I direct it toward beauty, toward generosity, toward expansion. I am not afraid to make decisions. I am not afraid to say no. I am not afraid to invest. I am not afraid to give. I do not act from desperation. I act from peace. I act from wisdom. I act from divine instruction. I am no longer controlled by fear of running out. I am no longer gripped by panic about not enough. I am now seated in the consciousness of more than enough. More than enough flows to me now. More than enough fills my life now. More than enough meets every need, answers every request, fulfills every purpose. I do not shrink when expenses rise. I do not shake when challenges appear. I do not tremble when the bank balance drops. I remain steady. I remain rooted. I remain strong. Because money is not my master. God is my source. The source has never failed me. The source has never forgotten me. The source has never lacked. And so I lack nothing. I lack no wisdom. I lack no solution. I lack no support. I lack no provision. I command my money with trust. I command my money with vision. I command my money with divine confidence. I speak increase over what I have. I speak order over what I spend. I speak peace over what I manage. I do not avoid my money, I embrace it. I do not ignore my money, I organize it. I do not fear my money, I understand it. I take care of it with joy. I plan with wisdom. I give with ease. I receive with grace. Money comes to me to serve me, and it serves me well. It serves my purpose. It serves my calling. It serves my expansion. It serves my rest. I allow it to be a blessing. I allow it to be light. I allow it to be joyful. I allow it to be easy. I let it serve me as I serve something higher. I do not serve money. I let it serve me. I do not chase money. I let it follow me. I do not submit to money. I rise in truth and speak with power. I lead with love, and money follows. I now speak gently. I now speak boldly. I now speak with the power that was given to me from the beginning. I give thanks. I give thanks for the increase. I give thanks for the flow. I give thanks for the overflow. Gratitude is my magnet. Gratitude is my channel. Gratitude is my gateway to more. I do not wait to give thanks until it appears. I give thanks now. I give thanks in faith. I give thanks in advance. I give thanks with calm. I give thanks with certainty, because I know it is already mine in the invisible. I know it is already here in substance. I know it is already formed in spirit, and what is formed in spirit will manifest in perfect ways. I now live in the vibration of gratitude. I now walk in the atmosphere of answered prayer. I do not need to beg for what is already mine. I do not plead with what is already promised. I simply say thank you. I thank the source. I thank the law. I thank the timing. I thank the unseen forces arranging every detail. I thank the ideas that are coming. I thank the money that is moving. I thank the clients that are deciding. I thank the paths that are opening. I thank the answers that are already prepared. My heart is open. My mind is still. My spirit is settled. I dwell in thanksgiving. I no longer need to prove anything. I no longer need to fix anything. I no longer need to push against anything. I breathe. I bless. I believe. And I give thanks. I give thanks for every dollar that has come into my hands. I give thanks for every dollar that has flowed from them. I give thanks for every hand that has given to me. I give thanks for every hand I have given to. I give thanks for the divine circle, the endless movement, the perfect circulation of good. Money flows in, money flows out, money flows back, always in divine rhythm, always in divine order. I now live in that rhythm. I now rest in that order. I no longer fear the giving. I no longer fear the waiting. I no longer fear the unknown. I give thanks through every step of the process. I give thanks in the middle. I give thanks in the in-between. I give thanks when I see it, and I give thanks when I do not. Because gratitude is not a reaction, it is a decision. It is a posture. It is a law, and I stand under that law now. I live by that law now. I rise in that law now. I give thanks. I give thanks for the miracles that are still forming. I give thanks for the doors that are opening quietly. I give thanks for the overflow that is making its way to me through peaceful, perfect channels. I do not need to understand how. I only need to say thank you. I do not need to predict the path. I only need to praise the source. I do not need to control the outcome. I only need to celebrate the truth. The truth is, I am taken care of. The truth is, I am provided for. The truth is, I am supported by a power greater than myself. I lean into that truth. I relax into that truth. I give thanks in that truth. I let go of complaints. I let go of fear. I let go of the noise that tells me there is not enough. I let go of the worry that says it won't come. I let go of the pressure that tells me to rush. I rest in thankfulness. I rise in thankfulness. I expand in thankfulness. I breathe in peace, and I breathe out praise. I breathe in stillness, and I breathe out joy. I breathe in grace, and I breathe out thanksgiving. The overflow is already here. The blessing is already on the way. The supply is already released. I receive it with a grateful heart. I receive it with a grateful mind. I receive it with open hands and lifted eyes. I bless the increase. I bless the multiplication. I bless the return. I bless the quiet surprises and the loud breakthroughs. I bless the little provisions and the large gifts. I bless the small beginnings and the great unfolding. I give thanks. Again and again, I give thanks. In the morning I give thanks. In the evening I give thanks. In the waiting I give thanks. In the rising I give thanks. In the stillness I give thanks. In the overflow I give thanks. And with every word of gratitude I speak, my world shifts, my atmosphere lifts, my abundance multiplies. I become a clearer channel. I become a stronger magnet. I become a faithful receiver. I do not just want wealth, I welcome it. I do not just need abundance, I thank it. I do not just hope for supply, I live in the vibration of its arrival. And so I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. And now I stand in the center of all that I have spoken, wrapped in peace, filled with trust, surrounded by grace. I have spoken the word, and the word is law. I have declared truth, and truth is moving on my behalf. I have released fear, and I have embraced faith. I do not wait to feel ready, I am already prepared. I do not wait to be worthy, I was born worthy. I do not wait to be chosen. I am already chosen. I am aligned. I am guided. I am supported. I am provided for. Everything I desire is already unfolding. Everything I need is already flowing. Everything I dream of is already forming. I allow it. I accept it. I welcome it. I receive it under grace, in perfect ways.
I speak the word, and my word is law. I speak from the center of divine truth, and the universe rearranges itself to obey. My voice is the voice of spirit, and what I decree is now made manifest. I do not speak from a place of wishing or hoping. I speak from a place of knowing. I stand in the center of my power, rooted in the unshakable reality that my consciousness is the only cause. I speak the word of abundance. I speak the word of divine, inexhaustible supply. I now pour the golden light of truth over every shadow of lack, every ghost of limitation, every lingering whisper of fear. I command the slate of my soul to be wiped clean. Every inherited story of struggle, every ancestral vow of poverty, every personal memory of not enough is now dissolved into nothingness. They have no power here. They have no home in me. They are not my truth. My truth is this: there is no lack in the divine mind, and I am one with that infinite creative mind. Therefore, there is no lack in my life, my world, or my affairs. There is only wholeness. There is only fullness. There is only the ceaseless, joyous, magnificent overflow of all that is. I live in this overflow now. I breathe it into my cells. It is the very atmosphere of my being. The divine is my source. Infinite spirit is my supply. The one creative power is my unshakable security. I take my eyes off the world of appearances. I release my grip on the illusion of outer sources. My job is not my source. It is a channel for my good to flow. The people in my life are not my source. They are beloved instruments for my good to find me. The economy is not my source. My supply is governed by a higher, changeless law. I turn my full attention, my full faith, my full heart to the one and only source, the eternal, inexhaustible spirit within. This loving source has never known a need it could not meet. This infinite intelligence has never known a question it could not answer. This one power has never known a moment of lack, and because I am one with my source, I lack nothing. I am complete. I do not strain. I do not worry. I do not chase. I stand still and I know. I stand in the light of my own being and I magnetize. I do not run after my good. My good runs to me. I do not hunt for opportunities. Opportunities hunt for me. I do not force doors open. The right doors now fly open before me. My energy is one of quiet, regal allowance. My posture is one of serene, joyful receiving. I am a powerful and irresistible magnet for every good and perfect thing. What I desire desires me. What I seek is already seeking me. What is mine by divine right now finds me with ease, with speed, and with breathtaking grace. All that is mine by divine law is now released to me. It is mine by divine right. It is delivered by divine timing. I let go of all anxiety about how and when. I surrender the need to know the details of the delivery. My only work is to remain in the calm, certain knowledge that it is done. The order has been placed with the universe, and the delivery is guaranteed. Infinite Spirit is my immediate and eternal source of supply. And because my source never fails, I cannot fail. Because my source is infinite, my supply is infinite. Therefore, money cannot fail to come to me. It is already on its way. I feel the vibration of its approach. I praise its arrival. I rejoice in its increase. I bless its divine and perfect flow. An avalanche of abundance, in the form of large sums of money, now flows to me under grace in perfect, peaceful ways. This is not a wish, it is a command. This is not a hope, it is spiritual law. My word is the law of my world, and my world now conforms to my word. And so I declare again, with the full force of my conviction, an avalanche of abundance, in the form of large sums of money, now flows to me under grace in perfect, peaceful ways. Every bill is paid with joy. Every need is met with ease. Every desire of my heart that is rooted in love is fulfilled. I do not beg. I receive. I do not fear. I know. I do not doubt. I declare. I speak the word, and the word does not return to me void. It accomplishes what I have sent it to do. The law of prosperity is now working for me, through me, and all around me. The law of my own good is now permanently established in my life. What is mine cannot be held back from me. What is mine cannot be delayed. What is mine flows to me now with divine precision and in divine order. I now stand fearless before the invisible, knowing it is the birthplace of all that is visible. I speak the word of faith, and the word becomes flesh in my world. I declare that riches are mine now, not in the future, but now. I declare that divinely right opportunities are mine now, not tomorrow, but now. I declare that perfect open channels for my abundance are established now. And for this, I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. My thanksgiving is the sign of my faith. It is the evidence of things not yet seen. I give thanks under grace, in perfect, peaceful ways. Source is my supply. The universe is my source. The very substance of my wealth is spirit. I turn away from appearances. I turn away from the noise of fear. I turn away from the statistics of lack, the news reports of panic, the voices of doubt within and without. I lift my vision above the shifting sands of human facts, and I fix my gaze upon the eternal rock of truth. And the truth is, I am provided for. The truth is, I am cherished and cared for. The truth is, I am not forsaken. I am never, ever forgotten by the intelligence that governs all things. All things I need, all things I seek, all things I righteously desire are already complete and perfect in the divine mind. There is no delay in spirit. There is no lack in spirit. There is only supply, flowing and full, endless and eternal. And I am connected to this infinite supply through my faith, my calm, unwavering trust. I do not earn supply through struggle. I do not force supply through fear. I receive supply through serene trust. I align with truth, and truth becomes my experience. I speak the word, and the word becomes my world. I declare, I affirm, I know, my source is my supply. I rest in this knowing. It is a soft place to land. I relax into this truth. It is a healing balm for my soul. I do not need to see it to believe it. I believe it, and then I see it. I do not chase. I attract. I do not doubt. I declare. I do not stress. I speak. And the word I speak is power. The word I speak is law. The word I speak moves the unseen and brings forth the seen. I now call upon my divine supply. I now claim my divine inheritance. I was never meant to live in lack. That was a lie. I was never meant to struggle. That was a lie. I was never meant to go without. That was a lie. These are the lies of fear, not the laws of the universe. The supreme law is abundance. The supreme law is sufficiency. The supreme law is overflow. And I am under this gracious law now, not the law of man, but the law of spirit. I walk in a higher law. I live in a higher vibration. I move with faith and I speak with the authority of the queen of my own kingdom. My source is my supply. I speak my truth into being, knowing the universe conspires to support me. My word, spoken with faith, is the most powerful creative force in existence. I do not worry how. The how is spirit's business, not mine. I do not worry when. The when is governed by divine timing, not my impatience. I only know the source, and the source is faithful. The source is endless. The source is mine. I now relax every muscle in my body. I now soften every anxious thought. I now silence every lingering doubt. I am safe. I am still. I am supplied. I do not need to push. I do not need to plead. I do not need to hustle. I walk in trust. I walk in flow. I walk in divine favor. What is mine is flowing to me. What is mine cannot be blocked. What is mine cannot be delayed. What is mine by divine right. All channels are open now. All gates are unlocked now. All barriers are dissolved now. I let it come. I let it flow. I let it rise up to meet me. My source is my supply. I return to this truth again and again and again. I let it cover me like a warm, weighted blanket. I let it wash over me like cleansing water. I let it calm my nervous system like the first light of dawn. I am held. I am provided for. I am never, ever alone. I speak this word as law. All that I need comes to me now. All that I desire comes to me now. All that I have asked for is already mine in spirit, awaiting my calm acceptance. I open to receive. I open with peace in my heart. I open with praise on my lips. I praise the unseen, for it is the mother of the seen. I praise the invisible substance, for it is becoming my visible supply. I praise the process, for I know it is perfect. I know it is already done. My words are not empty sounds. My words are seeds. I plant them in the fertile garden of my mind. I speak them in love. I speak them in power. I speak them in full, unshakable faith. I do not need to feel ready to receive. I am already ready. I do not need to make it happen. It is already happening. I place no limits on the infinite. I remove all limits from my mind. I am worthy of wealth. I am worthy of ease. I am worthy of profound peace. I release every past belief of struggle. I bless it and let it go. I release every thought of delay. I see it as a cloud and watch it drift away. I now declare the money I need is here. The money I want is here. The money that belongs to me is here. It comes to me now in ways that delight and surprise me. It comes to me now from channels I do not yet see. It comes to me now by divine direction, with grace and with speed. I give thanks for what is already mine. I give thanks in advance of the evidence. I give thanks by faith, not by sight. My heart is open. My life is ready. My spirit is steady. My source is my supply. I shall not want. My source is my supply. I do not fear. My source is my supply. I am at peace. I am already rich in the unseen. I am already abundant in truth. I am already walking in my good. My source is my supply, and I receive now. My source is my supply, and I receive from that supply freely, fully, and joyfully. As I remain still in this truth, I begin to feel the soft, powerful movement of divine abundance unfolding all around me. I do not need to grasp. I do not need to strive. I do not need to make anything happen. What is mine is drawn to me. What belongs to me finds me. What is prepared for me appears before me, not through strain, but through spiritual alignment. I am a magnet, and my magnetism is made powerful by the words I speak and the faith I hold. I speak truth, and truth responds to me. I expect good, and good appears for me. I stand in the knowing that I am magnetic to every form of divine riches. The money I desire, the opportunities I long for, the blessings I silently pray for, they are all on a holy pilgrimage, finding their way home to me. I do not chase wealth. I do not run after money. I do not run after clients or contracts or coins. Instead, I stand in the light of my being. I stand in the vibration of love. I stand in alignment with divine law, and I let the law do the lifting. I let the law do the work. I let the law bring it all to my door. I know that money does not come from people. It comes through people. I know that wealth does not come from a job. It comes through a job. The source is always the one infinite power. And when I am aligned with this power, I cannot be denied what is already mine. My magnetism is not in my effort. It is in my energy. It is in my words. It is in my inner knowing. And I now affirm with my whole being, I am a magnet for divine riches. Riches come in many forms, and I am open to them all. I accept wealth in money, flowing and free. I accept wealth in brilliant, inspired ideas. I accept wealth in profound, timely wisdom. I accept wealth in divine connections and opportunities. I accept wealth in perfect, miraculous timing. I no longer turn away from the flow. I no longer dictate how my good can come to me. I no longer try to control the channels. I simply remain still in my heart, and I allow.
I allow the floodgates to open. I allow the unexpected good to show up. I allow the blessings to surprise and delight me. An avalanche of abundance, in the form of large sums of money, now flows to me, and I accept it with joy, with grace, and with deep peace. There is no guilt in receiving. There is no fear in abundance. There is no shame in overflow. I was created to receive. I was created to expand. I was created to be a radiant reflection of divine fullness. I do not apologize for my wealth. I radiate it as a blessing to the world. I now draw to me that which is aligned with my highest good. I draw clients who are a joy to work with. I draw money that is clean and blessed. I draw partnerships that are peaceful and supportive. I draw offers that are honest and generous. I draw ideas that multiply and expand. The better I feel, the more I attract. The more I trust, the faster it flows. The more I bless, the more I receive. My magnetism increases with praise. My magnetism expands with gratitude. My magnetism deepens with unshakable faith. I do not need to be perfect to receive. I do not need to perform to attract. I only need to return to the truth. I only need to rest in my faith. I only need to speak the word and expect results. And the word I now speak is, I am a magnet for money. I am a magnet for miracles. I am a magnet for magnificent increase. The law of attraction is not a force outside of me. It is the law of my own being. My words are commands. My thoughts are containers. My emotions are the fuel. And I now speak words of wealth. I now think thoughts of wealth. I now feel the vibration of wealth already here. I do not try to convince myself. I return to remembering. I remember who I am, a divine being of light. I remember whose I am, a cherished expression of the universe. I remember that I am backed by the same power that shapes galaxies and births stars. I remember that money is not bigger than the power that creates worlds. I remember that wealth is not outside of me. It is already within me, seeking expression. I now bless all that I have, and in blessing it, I magnetize more. I bless every coin, every dollar, every cent that has ever come to me. I bless the good it has done. I bless the hands it passed through on its way to me. I bless the hands I passed it to on its way from me. And I bless with my whole heart the greater good that is now coming. I open every part of myself to receive. My hands are open. My heart is open. My home is open. My life is open. I am no longer holding my good at arm's length with doubt. I am no longer delaying my good with fear. I am no longer pushing my good away with guilt. I welcome it in with love. I welcome it in with joy. I welcome it in with profound trust. It finds me now. It reaches me now. It flows to me now. I do not question how. I only affirm that it is done. I allow it. I expect it. I receive it. I know who I am. I know what I carry. I know what I deserve. And what I deserve is already on its way to me now. I attract it. I draw it. I receive it. I am a magnet for divine riches. I am a magnet for divine riches. I am a magnet for divine riches. And so it is.
Every word we speak is a seed, and every seed holds the promise of a harvest. The tongue is not idle, it is the sculptor of our destiny, the brush that paints the canvas of our life. Words are not mere sounds carried by air, they are living currents of creative energy. Spoken with conviction, they become commands to the unseen forces that govern our affairs. Whispered with faith, they summon opportunities, open doors, and magnetize supply from the most unexpected directions. Truly, the word is our wand, and with it we write the script of prosperity or poverty, joy or lack. When one understands the power hidden in the spoken word, life ceases to be a matter of chance and begins to reveal itself as a matter of choice. The universe listens. It bends and shapes itself according to the tone of our declarations. Say, I cannot afford, and the universe nods in agreement. closing the avenues of wealth. Say, I am divinely provided for in every way. And invisible forces move to fill your cup until it overflows. What you speak today is the harvest you will gather tomorrow. The mind is the soil, the word is the seed. Faith is the sunlight that calls forth the growth. Riches are not merely piles of gold or the possession of material things. They are the fullness of life, the freedom to express, to create, to share, and to rejoice. When you hold to words of lack, you invite shadows. When you affirm words of abundance, you awaken light. It is not circumstance that rules you, but the continual stream of words you release. Many seek prosperity by toil alone, thinking riches are born from sweat and struggle. Yet countless toil and remain empty-handed. Why? Because their words betray them. They speak of fear, of shortage, of endless difficulty, and so they chain themselves to the very conditions they dread. The outer world is but a mirror reflecting the inner decree. Change the decree, and the mirror cannot help but change with it. The secret lies in wielding the word as a wand, not casually, not carelessly, but with reverence and precision. Each declaration is a command to substance, a call to the invisible storehouse of supply. Speak with certainty. I walk in a world of opulence, and all that is mine by divine right now comes to me with speed and ease. Such words do not fall empty, for they are clothed in the authority of truth. Life rushes to obey them, so let the lips become the channel of riches, not ruin. Let the tongue utter blessings, not curses. Let speech be guarded, for it is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The key to attracting wealth lies not in struggle, but in the mastery of the word. Words are not idle sounds drifting into the air, they are seeds charged with the vitality of life itself. Every word carries weight, tone, and vibration, and each vibration sets in motion a stream of unseen activity that goes forth and returns multiplied. To one who understands this, speech becomes sacred, deliberate, and creative. A careless word is not without consequence, and a word spoken with faith and clarity is never without effect. The ancient teaching has always declared that in the beginning was the Word, for the word is the first movement of creation. Nothing takes form without first being spoken, whispered, or declared in consciousness. When we say that words are living currents of creative energy that shape destiny, we affirm that the invisible molds of our future are constantly being cast through the medium of language. Think for a moment about the utterances of daily life, those casual phrases that slip past the lips without notice. I am always unlucky. Money never stays with me. I can't do this. It's too hard. Each of these statements is a decree, a command issued to the forces of creation. The mind, hearing them, begins to build experiences to match. The subconscious does not argue, it obeys. The universe does not resist, it reflects. Such words, though spoken without thought, take root in the fertile soil of the inner life, and in time, the harvest appears in the outer world. We become the authors of our own difficulties, not because life is cruel, but because we misuse the living currents that flow through us as speech. Now consider the opposite. I walk in a universe of supply. Every day brings me closer to my highest good. My words open doors no man can shut. I am guided, guarded, and prospered in all that I do. These utterances are also seeds, but they are charged with light, charged with faith, charged with expectancy. When released, they stir currents in the unseen realm. They summon ideas, opportunities, and circumstances aligned with their vibration. What was once closed begins to open. What was once hidden begins to appear. What was once delayed begins to move swiftly toward fulfillment. Words set these movements into action, and words sustain them until manifestation is complete. Destiny is not a fixed stone path laid down long before birth. Destiny is a garden, and we are planting it every hour. If weeds appear, it is because seeds of doubt, fear, or complaint were allowed to fall upon the ground. If blossoms of wealth and joy arise, it is because words of faith, courage, and expectancy were sown. No gardener can reap roses from nettles, nor figs from thistles. Likewise, no one can reap abundance from a language of poverty, or joy from a tongue that continually speaks of sorrow. Every word is a seed, and every seed contains within it a harvest of its own kind. Consider how even the simplest utterance can alter the course of events. A word of encouragement spoken to oneself in a moment of doubt can rekindle strength and allow success where failure seemed certain. A declaration of health repeated daily can shift the body's response, awakening dormant vitality and summoning the forces of healing. A spoken blessing over one's work can draw opportunities that seemed far beyond reach. These are not fantasies but demonstrations of the fact that words are alive, words are dynamic, and words are creative. The spoken word is the link between thought and form, the bridge by which invisible ideas cross into visible expression. It is not only the words we speak aloud that shape our path, but also the silent words of inner dialogue. The continual stream of thought, murmured quietly within, acts as a constant decree. Many guard their speech in public, but in the secrecy of the mind they repeat words of fear, failure, and limitation. The subconscious makes no distinction between the loud voice and the silent one. Both are creative, both carry power, both shape destiny. Therefore, it is not enough to speak affirmations in the morning and spend the rest of the day muttering words of complaint within. The entire current of thought and language must be brought into alignment with the truth of abundance and the expectancy of good. If one desires to see the true measure of this principle, let them observe how words influence even the smallest affairs. A person who constantly declares that time is short finds themselves always hurried, always pressed, always without enough hours. Another who affirms that time serves them well discovers that tasks fit smoothly, opportunities arrive on schedule, and delays are transformed into blessings. The difference is not in the clock but in the decree. Words shape the experience of time as surely as they shape the flow of wealth, health, or opportunity. There is a subtle power in words because they do not stop at the ears. Words penetrate. They enter the atmosphere of thought and set vibrations moving. They travel outward into the unseen and return carrying the forms they have called. They also travel inward, imprinting the subconscious, which acts as a faithful servant, directing body, mind, and circumstances to fulfill the command. When one declares with certainty, "I prosper in all my ways," that declaration travels both outward and inward, creating a resonance that attracts prosperity from without while training the inner faculties to recognize and seize it. There is no word without effect. Words spoken in anger, though forgotten by the speaker, still reverberate and return with their fruit. Words spoken in love, even softly and briefly, continue to expand and bless long after the moment has passed. The creative current within words cannot be extinguished once released. They go forth, and they accomplish according to their kind. This is why discipline of speech is essential, for without discipline, the wand of creation waves wildly, calling forth both weeds and flowers, both shadows and light. To live with the awareness that words are living currents is to stand at the threshold of mastery. One begins to listen before speaking, to weigh each phrase as if it were a coin spent in the marketplace of life. One chooses words of faith, of abundance, of joy, knowing that these words are not wasted breath but living decrees. One abandons idle chatter of lack or misfortune, for such words are not harmless, but seeds that grow into conditions we may later regret. Each utterance becomes intentional, each statement aligned with the vision of the life one seeks to manifest. The universe is not deaf, nor is it indifferent to the language of its children. Every utterance is heard, every vibration acknowledged, and every declaration answered in kind. There exists a great law of correspondence, a law that mirrors back to us the very substance of what we speak. When we say, "I am not able," the universe confirms our limitation. When we declare, "I have all I need supplied by divine right," the universe unfolds new channels to prove us correct. Words are not lost in space. They are living messages carried upon the ether, returning to us clothed in form. The universe is like an unfailing echo, repeating what has been spoken, magnified and multiplied. Observe how people speak of themselves and their affairs. One says, "I never get a fair chance." Another insists, "I am always struggling." A third claims, there is never enough. These declarations, spoken often, become living molds that the universe rushes to fill. Circumstances rise up to prove the words true. Doors remain closed, opportunities slip away, and lack continues to haunt the path. It is not that life has chosen them for misfortune, but that their words have chosen misfortune for them. The universe is obedient, impartial, and exacting. It does not discriminate between positive and negative, between wealth and want. It only reflects. It only gives back what is spoken with the weight of belief. Now listen to the one who speaks differently. Everything I need flows to me in perfect timing. All that belongs to me by divine right is making its way into my hands. I am favored, blessed, and prospered in all that I do. These are not idle words, but powerful decrees. The universe bends in their direction, opening doors that were closed, bringing allies into place, making crooked paths straight. Opportunities that seemed distant suddenly appear, and resources that seemed impossible to secure come forth with ease. What is the difference? It is not talent alone, nor circumstance, but the vibration of words. One tongue sows lack, and lack appears. Another tongue sows abundance, and abundance flows. The universe listens not only to what is said once, but to what is repeated, sustained, and charged with emotion. A single declaration of good may begin the movement, but continual declarations build momentum. Just as water wears away stone through persistence, so do spoken affirmations carve channels in the unseen, creating wide rivers of supply that can no longer be hindered. The universe responds to the steady music of words, aligning events, people, and opportunities to the tune that is sung. If the song is one of scarcity, scarcity becomes the reality. If the song is one of plenty, plenty becomes inevitable. There is a subtle truth in how the universe hears us. It does not attend merely to the words spoken with lips, but to the tone of belief that underlies them. To say, I am rich, while secretly doubting, produces little, for the echo returned carries the vibration of doubt. But to say, I am provided for, with full faith, with assurance, with expectancy, is to release a command that the universe cannot ignore. The words become clothed with power. They are no longer empty phrases but carriers of conviction, and conviction is the signal that moves the unseen into action. Consider the farmer casting seed upon the ground. He does not cast once and abandon the field, nor does he doubt the soil's capacity to yield. He casts daily, he waters faithfully, and he knows that in time the earth must return what has been planted. So it is with words. They are the seeds of destiny, and the universe is the soil that can never refuse them. If one plants weeds, weeds grow. If one plants wheat, wheat grows. The soil makes no judgment, it simply obeys. And so does the universe. It does not argue with us, it does not resist us, it does not deny us. It agrees with our speech, and it gives us the harvest of our declarations. Every complaint is a prayer, every statement of fear a request, every utterance a form of agreement with the forces of creation. To say, I cannot find work, is to command that opportunities remain hidden. To declare, I am always unlucky, is to instruct life to arrange itself according to misfortune. And yet, the power lies ever in the speaker's hands. Change the words, and the response of the universe must also change. Say instead, I walk into the perfect work prepared for me, and soon the current shifts. Say, I am guided into favorable conditions, and conditions rearrange themselves to obey. It is impossible to separate speech from destiny, for destiny is written on the current of words. The tongue holds the power of life and death, not in a metaphorical sense, but in a literal law of creation. Words are seeds, words are commands, words are decrees. They travel into the unseen, find their kind, and return to the one who sent them. The universe listens with precision, and what it hears it delivers. Those who have trained themselves to guard speech become masters of circumstance. They do not allow careless chatter of misfortune to pass their lips, for they know that every careless phrase is a seed planted. They speak as creators, deliberate and purposeful, knowing that the universe attends every syllable. They affirm only that which they desire to see made manifest, And because of this discipline, their lives unfold in harmony and abundance. The undisciplined tongue scatters weeds and roses alike, and the undisciplined life reaps both. But the disciplined speaker sows only roses, and the universe, ever obedient, returns roses in abundance. Even the smallest phrases hold power. To continually say, "I am tired," is to summon weariness. To declare, "I cannot remember," is to instruct the mind to forget. To insist, "I am clumsy," is to train the body into awkwardness. On the other hand, to affirm, "I am strong," calls forth strength. To declare, "I remember with clarity," awakens the faculties of memory. To affirm, "I move with grace," trains the body into ease. The universe listens even to these small decrees, and life reshapes itself according to their vibration. The law is impartial, exact, and unchanging. It is not affected by who speaks, but by what is spoken. The wealthy and the poor, the strong and the weak, the favored and the forgotten, all alike are subject to the response of the universe to their words. No one is exempt, and no one is excluded. It is a law that governs alike the king and the beggar, the sage and the fool. Words go forth, and the universe echoes them back in form. Many believe that prosperity is the result of endless toil, of laboring day and night, of pushing against circumstances until doors finally break open. They imagine that riches are wrestled from life by sheer force, that the sweat of the brow alone is the price of abundance. Yet how often do we see those who work without ceasing, who strive with all their might, yet remain in want? Their days are filled with effort, yet their hands return empty. The missing key is not effort, but the words that proceed from their mouths. For words of lack, spoken in the midst of work, poison the harvest before it can ripen. Words of fear undo the very labor the hands have built. It is not toil that creates prosperity. It is the language of abundance carried on the breath of faith. A farmer may till the soil from dawn to dusk, but if he sows only weeds, he cannot expect a crop of wheat. Likewise, one may labor with great diligence, but if the tongue is continually uttering phrases of defeat and shortage, the result will reflect the words, not the effort. To say, "It will never be enough," while working with all strength, is to decree lack into existence. To complain, "I will always struggle," even while sowing seeds of effort, is to bind oneself to struggle. The universe does not reward effort alone, it rewards effort aligned with speech that declares abundance. Prosperity flows first from the unseen, then into the seen. Work without the right words is like planting without sunlight, it remains barren. Words of abundance act as the light that awakens the hidden seed of prosperity. When one speaks with confidence, "I prosper in everything I do," every task begins to flourish. When one declares, "All channels of supply are open to me," opportunities appear where none seemed possible. When one affirms, "I work with ease and am richly rewarded," the very labor of the hands is transformed into joy and returns multiplied results. Those who toil without guiding words are like sailors rowing without a compass. They may row with all their strength, but without direction. They drift endlessly. Words are the compass that sets the course, effort is the oar that propels the boat. Both are needed. But without the compass of affirmations, the oar of labor cannot deliver the sailor to the shore of prosperity. Many weary themselves with rowing, unaware that their words continually steer them in circles of lack. The wise understand that every word is a rudder turning the ship of their life, and they choose their speech carefully to point toward abundance. Observe the speech of those who live in plenty. They do not complain of shortage, they affirm supply. They do not speak of endless struggle, they declare ease. They do not say, "I can't afford this." They say, "Every word we speak is a seed, and every seed holds the promise of a harvest." The tongue is not idle, it is the sculptor of our destiny, the brush that paints the canvas of our life. Words are not mere sounds carried by air, they are living currents of creative energy. Spoken with conviction, they become commands to the unseen forces that govern our affairs. Whispered with faith, they summon opportunities, open doors, and magnetize supply from the most unexpected directions. Truly, the word is our wand, and with it we write the script of prosperity or poverty, joy or lack. When one understands the power hidden in the spoken word, life ceases to be a matter of chance and begins to reveal itself as a matter of choice. The universe listens. It bends and shapes itself according to the tone of our declarations. Say, I cannot afford, and the universe nods in agreement, closing the avenues of wealth. Say, I am divinely provided for in every way, and invisible forces move to fill your cup until it overflows. What you speak today is the harvest you will gather tomorrow. The mind is the soil, the word is the seed. Faith is the sunlight that calls forth the growth. Riches are not merely piles of gold or the possession of material things. They are the fullness of life, the freedom to express, to create, to share, and to rejoice. When you hold to words of lack, you invite shadows. When you affirm words of abundance, you awaken light. It is not circumstance that rules you, but the continual stream of words you release. Many seek prosperity by toil alone, thinking riches are born from sweat and struggle. Yet countless toil and remain empty-handed. Why? Because their words betray them. They speak of fear, of shortage, of endless difficulty, and so they chain themselves to the very conditions they dread. The outer world is but a mirror reflecting the inner decree. Change the decree, and the mirror cannot help but change with it. The secret lies in wielding the word as a wand, not casually, not carelessly, but with reverence and precision. Each declaration is a command to substance, a call to the invisible storehouse of supply. Speak with certainty, I walk in a world of opulence, and all that is mine by divine right now comes to me with speed and ease. Such words do not fall empty, for they are clothed in the authority of truth. Life rushes to obey them, so let the lips become the channel of riches, not ruin. Let the tongue utter blessings, not curses. Let speech be guarded, for it is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The key to attracting wealth lies not in struggle, but in the mastery of the word. Words are not idle sounds drifting into the air, they are seeds charged with the vitality of life itself. Every word carries weight, tone, and vibration, and each vibration sets in motion a stream of unseen activity that goes forth and returns multiplied. To one who understands this, speech becomes sacred, deliberate, and creative. A careless word is not without consequence, and a word spoken with faith and clarity is never without effect. The ancient teaching has always declared that in the beginning was the Word, for the Word is the first movement of creation. Nothing takes form without first being spoken, whispered, or declared in consciousness. When we say that words are living currents of creative energy that shape destiny, we affirm that the invisible molds of our future are constantly being cast through the medium of language. Think for a moment about the utterances of daily life, those casual phrases that slip past the lips without notice. I am always unlucky. Money never stays with me. I can't do this. It's too hard. Each of these statements is a decree, a command issued to the forces of creation. The mind, hearing them, begins to build experiences to match. The subconscious does not argue, it obeys. The universe does not resist, it reflects. Such words, though spoken without thought, take root in the fertile soil of the inner life, and in time, the harvest appears in the outer world. We become the authors of our own difficulties, not because life is cruel, but because we misuse the living currents that flow through us as speech. Now consider the opposite. I walk in a universe of supply. Every day brings me closer to my highest good. My words open doors no man can shut. I am guided, guarded, and prospered in all that I do. These utterances are also seeds, but they are charged with light, charged with faith, charged with expectancy. When released, they stir currents in the unseen realm. They summon ideas, opportunities, and circumstances aligned with their vibration. What was once closed begins to open. What was once hidden begins to appear. What was once delayed begins to move swiftly toward fulfillment. Words set these movements into action, and words sustain them until manifestation is complete. Destiny is not a fixed stone path laid down long before birth. Destiny is a garden, and we are planting it every hour. If weeds appear, it is because seeds of doubt, fear, or complaint were allowed to fall upon the ground. If blossoms of wealth and joy arise, it is because words of faith, courage, and expectancy were sown. No gardener can reap roses from nettles, nor figs from thistles. Likewise, no one can reap abundance from a language of poverty, or joy from a tongue that continually speaks of sorrow. Every word is a seed, and every seed contains within it a harvest of its own kind. Consider how even the simplest utterance can alter the course of events. A word of encouragement spoken to oneself in a moment of doubt can rekindle strength and allow success where failure seemed certain. A declaration of health repeated daily can shift the body's response, awakening dormant vitality and summoning the forces of healing. A spoken blessing over one's work can draw opportunities that seemed far beyond reach. These are not fantasies but demonstrations of the fact that words are alive, words are dynamic, and words are creative. The spoken word is the link between thought and form, the bridge by which invisible ideas cross into visible expression. It is not only the words we speak aloud that shape our path, but also the silent words of inner dialogue. The continual stream of thought, murmured quietly within, acts as a constant decree. Many guard their speech in public, but in the secrecy of the mind they repeat words of fear, failure, and limitation. The subconscious makes no distinction between the loud voice and the silent one. Both are creative, both carry power, both shape destiny. Therefore, it is not enough to speak affirmations in the morning and spend the rest of the day muttering words of complaint within. The entire current of thought and language must be brought into alignment with the truth of abundance and the expectancy of good. If one desires to see the true measure of this principle, let them observe how words influence even the smallest affairs. A person who constantly declares that time is short finds themselves always hurried, always pressed, always without enough hours. Another who affirms that time serves them well discovers that tasks fit smoothly, opportunities arrive on schedule, and delays are transformed into blessings. The difference is not in the clock but in the decree. Words shape the experience of time as surely as they shape the flow of wealth, health, or opportunity. There is a subtle power in words because they do not stop at the ears. Words penetrate. They enter the atmosphere of thought and set vibrations moving. They travel outward into the unseen and return carrying the forms they have called. They also travel inward, imprinting the subconscious, which acts as a faithful servant, directing body, mind, and circumstances to fulfill the command. When one declares with certainty, "I prosper in all my ways," that declaration travels both outward and inward, creating a resonance that attracts prosperity from without while training the inner faculties to recognize and seize it. There is no word without effect. Words spoken in anger, though forgotten by the speaker, still reverberate and return with their fruit. Words spoken in love, even softly and briefly, continue to expand and bless long after the moment has passed. The creative current within words cannot be extinguished once released. They go forth, and they accomplish according to their kind. This is why discipline of speech is essential, for without discipline, the wand of creation waves wildly, calling forth both weeds and flowers, both shadows and light. To live with the awareness that words are living currents is to stand at the threshold of mastery. One begins to listen before speaking, to weigh each phrase as if it were a coin spent in the marketplace of life. One chooses words of faith, of abundance, of joy, knowing that these words are not wasted breath but living decrees. One abandons idle chatter of lack or misfortune, for such words are not harmless, but seeds that grow into conditions we may later regret. Each utterance becomes intentional, each statement aligned with the vision of the life one seeks to manifest. The universe is not deaf, nor is it indifferent to the language of its children. Every utterance is heard, every vibration acknowledged, and every declaration answered in kind. There exists a great law of correspondence, a law that mirrors back to us the very substance of what we speak. When we say, "I am not able," the universe confirms our limitation. When we declare, "I have all I need supplied by divine right," the universe unfolds new channels to prove us correct. Words are not lost in space. They are living messages carried upon the ether, returning to us clothed in form. The universe is like an unfailing echo, repeating what has been spoken, magnified and multiplied. Observe how people speak of themselves and their affairs. One says, "I never get a fair chance." Another insists, "I am always struggling." A third claims, "There is never enough." These declarations, spoken often, become living molds that the universe rushes to fill. Circumstances rise up to prove the words true. Doors remain closed, opportunities slip away, and lack continues to haunt the path. It is not that life has chosen them for misfortune, but that their words have chosen misfortune for them. The universe is obedient, impartial, and exacting. It does not discriminate between positive and negative, between wealth and want. It only reflects. It only gives back what is spoken with the weight of belief. Now listen to the one who speaks differently. Everything I need flows to me in perfect timing. All that belongs to me by divine right is making its way into my hands. I am favored, blessed, and prospered in all that I do. These are not idle words, but powerful decrees. The universe bends in their direction, opening doors that were closed, bringing allies into place, making crooked paths straight. Opportunities that seemed distant suddenly appear, and resources that seemed impossible to secure come forth with ease. What is the difference? It is not talent alone, nor circumstance, but the vibration of words. One tongue sows lack, and lack appears. Another tongue sows abundance, and abundance flows. The universe listens not only to what is said once, but to what is repeated, sustained, and charged with emotion. A single declaration of good may begin the movement, but continual declarations build momentum. Just as water wears away stone through persistence, so do spoken affirmations carve channels in the unseen, creating wide rivers of supply that can no longer be hindered. The universe responds to the steady music of words, aligning events, people, and opportunities to the tune that is sung. If the song is one of scarcity, scarcity becomes the reality. If the song is one of plenty, plenty becomes inevitable. There is a subtle truth in how the universe hears us. It does not attend merely to the words spoken with lips, but to the tone of belief that underlies them. To say, "I am rich," while secretly doubting, produces little, for the echo returned carries the vibration of doubt. But to say, "I am provided for," with full faith, with assurance, with expectancy, is to release a command that the universe cannot ignore. The words become clothed with power. They are no longer empty phrases but carriers of conviction, and conviction is the signal that moves the unseen into action. Consider the farmer casting seed upon the ground. He does not cast once and abandon the field, nor does he doubt the soil's capacity to yield. He casts daily, he waters faithfully, and he knows that in time the earth must return what has been planted. So it is with words. They are the seeds of destiny, and the universe is the soil that can never refuse them. If one plants weeds, weeds grow. If one plants wheat, wheat grows. The soil makes no judgment, it simply obeys. And so does the universe. It does not argue with us. It does not resist us. It does not deny us. It agrees with our speech, and it gives us the harvest of our declarations. Every complaint is a prayer, every statement of fear a request, every utterance a form of agreement with the forces of creation. To say, "I cannot find work," is to command that opportunities remain hidden. To declare, "I am always unlucky," is to instruct life to arrange itself according to misfortune. And yet, the power lies ever in the speaker's hands. Change the words, and the response of the universe must also change. Say instead, "I walk into the perfect work prepared for me," and soon the current shifts. Say, "I am guided into favorable conditions," and conditions rearrange themselves to obey. It is impossible to separate speech from destiny, for destiny is written on the current of words. The tongue holds the power of life and death, not in a metaphorical sense, but in a literal law of creation. Words are seeds, words are commands, words are decrees. They travel into the unseen, find their kind, and return to the one who sent them. The universe listens with precision, and what it hears it delivers. Those who have trained themselves to guard speech become masters of circumstance. They do not allow careless chatter of misfortune to pass their lips, for they know that every careless phrase is a seed planted. They speak as creators, deliberate and purposeful, knowing that the universe attends every syllable. They affirm only that which they desire to see made manifest, and because of this discipline, their lives unfold in harmony and abundance. The undisciplined tongue scatters weeds and roses alike, and the undisciplined life reaps both. But the disciplined speaker sows only roses, and the universe, ever obedient, returns roses in abundance. Even the smallest phrases hold power. To continually say, "I am tired," is to summon weariness. To declare, "I cannot remember," is to instruct the mind to forget. To insist, "I am clumsy," is to train the body into awkwardness. On the other hand, to affirm, "I am strong," calls forth strength. To declare, "I remember with clarity," awakens the faculties of memory. To affirm, "I move with grace," trains the body into ease. The universe listens even to these small decrees, and life reshapes itself according to their vibration. The law is impartial, exact, and unchanging. It is not affected by who speaks, but by what is spoken. The wealthy and the poor, the strong and the weak, the favored and the forgotten, all alike are subject to the response of the universe to their words. No one is exempt, and no one is excluded. It is a law that governs alike the king and the beggar, the sage and the fool. Words go forth, and the universe echoes them back in form. Many believe that prosperity is the result of endless toil, of laboring day and night, of pushing against circumstances until doors finally break open. They imagine that riches are wrestled from life by sheer force, that the sweat of the brow alone is the price of abundance. Yet how often do we see those who work without ceasing, who strive with all their might, yet remain in want? Their days are filled with effort, yet their hands return empty. The missing key is not effort, but the words that proceed from their mouths. For words of lack, spoken in the midst of work, poison the harvest before it can ripen. Words of fear undo the very labor the hands have built. It is not toil that creates prosperity. It is the language of abundance carried on the breath of faith. A farmer may till the soil from dawn to dusk, but if he sows only weeds, he cannot expect a crop of wheat. Likewise, one may labor with great diligence, but if the tongue is continually uttering phrases of defeat and shortage, the result will reflect the words, not the effort. To say, "It will never be enough," while working with all strength, is to decree lack into existence. To complain, "I will always struggle," even while sowing seeds of effort, is to bind oneself to struggle. The universe does not reward effort alone, it rewards effort aligned with speech that declares abundance. Prosperity flows first from the unseen, then into the seen. Work without the right words is like planting without sunlight, it remains barren. Words of abundance act as the light that awakens the hidden seed of prosperity. When one speaks with confidence, "I prosper in everything I do," every task begins to flourish. When one declares, "All channels of supply are open to me," opportunities appear where none seemed possible. When one affirms, "I work with ease and am richly rewarded," the very labor of the hands is transformed into joy and returns multiplied results. Those who toil without guiding words are like sailors rowing without a compass. They may row with all their strength, but without direction. They drift endlessly. Words are the compass that sets the course, effort is the oar that propels the boat. Both are needed. But without the compass of affirmations, the oar of labor cannot deliver the sailor to the shore of prosperity. Many weary themselves with rowing, unaware that their words continually steer them in circles of lack. The wise understand that every word is a rudder turning the ship of their life, and they choose their speech carefully to point toward abundance. Observe the speech of those who live in plenty. They do not complain of shortage, they affirm supply. They do not speak of endless struggle, they declare ease. They do not say, "I can't afford this." They say, "Everything I need comes to me in perfect timing." Their words and their work move in harmony, and this harmony opens the gates of wealth. They labor? Yes, but they labor in the vibration of abundance, and so their labor is blessed. Their efforts, however small, yield large returns. For the language of prosperity draws multiplication from the universe. Prosperity cannot be forced through struggle, for struggle itself is a declaration. To say, I must fight for every coin, is to bind oneself to fight. To say, nothing comes easily, is to decree difficulty in every direction. The mind, hearing these words, sets about creating conditions to prove them true. The subconscious, faithful to the commands of the tongue, sabotages ease and multiplies obstacles. But to speak, riches flow to me freely, releases a different command. The subconscious aligns with ease, and circumstances arrange themselves to provide smooth paths. Life bends toward the decree, and abundance becomes effortless. Even in work, it is not the heaviness of effort that matters but the spirit carried in words. One may spend an hour in labor while affirming, this work is blessed, and it prospers me greatly. And that hour may yield more than another man's week of toil spoken under the curse of complaint. The weight of effort does not determine the harvest, the vibration of speech does. For speech calls forth invisible allies, unseen currents that multiply results beyond what hands alone could achieve. It is a deception to think that money and supply come from effort alone. If this were true, the hardest workers in the world would be the richest. Yet many who strain endlessly live in scarcity, while others, who speak words of abundance, attract wealth with less labor. The difference lies not in merit, but in the power of the spoken decree. Prosperity flows from words first, then manifests through channels that may include labor. But labor without affirmations is like a stream cut off from its source. The stream dries up, no matter how much the man at the riverbank digs. Consider the shopkeeper who rises daily with the declaration, every person who enters this shop brings blessings, and I am prospered by divine supply. His business thrives, not only because of his wares, but because his words magnetize customers and opportunities. Compare him with another who mutters, business is always slow, people never buy, nothing ever works for me. Though he works as long and as hard, his words repel the very prosperity he seeks. The universe listens, and it obeys. Words of abundance do not only attract money, they transform the very experience of work. A labor that once seemed heavy becomes light when blessed by affirmations. A task that seemed meaningless reveals hidden reward when spoken over with gratitude and expectancy. Even the simplest duty prospers when words of increase accompany it. The worker no longer labors as a slave to circumstance, but as a co-creator with life itself, speaking riches into existence with every phrase. The mistake of many is believing that toil is the source of wealth. Toil is only the channel, words are the source. The channel can be dug wider or deeper, but if no current flows into it, it remains empty. Words of abundance summon the current. They call forth the flow that fills the channel of labor with substance. One who works without affirmations digs canals that remain dry. One who speaks words of supply finds that even small channels overflow. The law is simple: speech sets the vibration, effort gives it form. When speech is in harmony with abundance, effort multiplies. When speech is filled with lack, effort diminishes. Words are the true fountain of prosperity. Labor is the vessel. The vessel without the fountain remains empty, but the vessel connected to the fountain overflows. The spoken word is not a mere sound that vanishes once uttered. It is a wand, a living instrument of command, a channel through which unseen substance is directed into visible form. When one understands this truth, every utterance becomes sacred, for each syllable is a decree sent forth to summon conditions, events, and experiences. The careless speak without awareness, and wonder why their lives seem bound to difficulty. Yet the wise recognize that each word carries the power of a spell, shaping reality according to its vibration. The word is the wand, and with precision it can summon prosperity from the storehouse of the infinite. To speak with certainty is to wield the wand with strength. A vague statement carries little power, but a precise declaration strikes directly at the substance of creation. when one affirms with clarity, I walk in a world of opulence, and all that is mine by divine right comes to me. The wand has been lifted, and the invisible begins to move. The forces that govern supply take the command and begin their arrangement. People, opportunities, and circumstances shift in obedience to the utterance. The words spoken are not wasted breath, they are currents of creative energy, vibrating through the ether, clothed in authority, and destined to return with fulfillment. Every declaration is a command to substance. When one says, I am always poor, that phrase is a command, and substance obeys by withholding riches. When one says, I cannot succeed, that is also a command, and life arranges itself to confirm the decree. Yet when one dares to speak differently, I am divinely prospered in every way, the command goes forth into the unseen, summoning new channels of wealth, new paths of success, new opportunities where none appeared before. The wand has no power of its own apart from the words that direct it, but when words are spoken in faith, the wand creates with unfailing precision. It is not enough to think abundance, the thought must be clothed in sound, for thought alone is like a spark, while speech is like the flame. The spark may glow silently, but the flame spreads, moves, and transforms. Words spoken aloud carry vibration beyond the self. They travel outward and stir currents in the unseen realm. To think, I prosper, begins the process, but to say, I prosper in everything I do, ignites the power, calls forth the energy, and sets in motion the law of manifestation. Speech is the wand in action, drawing invisible substance into visible form. Those who understand this law speak as creators, not as beggars. They do not plead for supply, for pleading acknowledges lack. Instead, they command with authority, declaring that which they know is already theirs by right. To say, wealth flows to me freely, is not a wish but a command, not a hope but a decree. The universe does not resist such words, for they are spoken in alignment with truth, and truth always finds expression. The wand does not falter when lifted with conviction. It acts with exactness, summoning riches from the unseen to the seen. Precision of language is vital. A vague phrase such as, I want more money, produces little, for it acknowledges wanting, and wanting only multiplies itself. But a statement such as, I am supplied with all that I require, quickly and abundantly, carries weight, it carries authority, it speaks from the position of having, not from the shadow of lack. The universe responds to certainty, not to wavering. The wand obeys the clarity of the command, not the confusion of doubt. The one who speaks with firmness finds their words swiftly clothed in form, while the one who hesitates receives little. For hesitation creates no clear image to be obeyed. The wand of the word does not operate in isolation from faith. Words spoken without faith are empty. They scatter like chaff in the wind. But words spoken with inner conviction are seeds planted in fertile soil. The inner belief clothes the words with substance, giving them life. When one says, I am guided into prosperity, and believes it with the whole heart, that phrase becomes a living decree. Invisible powers stir to fulfill it. Events align, opportunities appear. The wand has been raised with certainty, and certainty always brings manifestation. Many labor under the belief that words are insignificant, that only action counts. But they do not see that words themselves are actions of the highest order. The movement of the tongue is the movement of creation. A phrase uttered in faith carries more power than days of effort without affirmation. For effort without the wand of words is blind, but words direct effort, multiplying it, blessing it, transforming it into prosperity. The worker who speaks blessings over their labor reaps greater results than one who labors without utterance. The merchant who declares prosperity over their business draws more customers than one who relies only on advertising. The word is the wand, and without it labor is empty. To wield the word as a wand is to understand the responsibility of speech. Idle chatter of lack or fear is no small matter, it is misuse of the wand, a careless casting of spells that return with unpleasant fruit. To continually say, it never works out, is to cast a spell against one's own prosperity. To repeat, I am always unlucky, is to wield the wand toward misfortune. Every phrase carries power, whether spoken consciously or unconsciously. The wise therefore guard their tongue, releasing only those words they wish to see clothed in form. The spoken word is also a shield. To declare, "Nothing and no one can hinder the riches that are mine by divine right," is to wield the wand as a defense. Obstacles melt before such a decree. Conditions that seemed immovable shift under its power. The spoken word not only calls forth riches, but clears the path for them to arrive. With one phrase, barriers dissolve, and the way is made plain. The wand does not only summon, it protects, guides, and clears. The key is constancy. One must lift the wand daily, not once and then forget, but again and again, until the air vibrates with the certainty of the decree. Each repetition strengthens the command, driving it deeper into the subconscious, carrying it farther into the unseen. Just as the sculptor strikes the stone again and again until the form emerges, so must words be spoken until the form of prosperity appears. It is not vain repetition, but purposeful command, each phrase shaping substance, each utterance directing power. To speak prosperity is to command prosperity, and to command prosperity is to create it. The wand of the word does not tire, it does not weaken, it does not fail. It obeys without question, it summons without hesitation, it creates without limit. Words spoken with precision and faith are the true instruments of wealth. Labor may move matter, but words move the unseen forces that govern matter. Words are the wand, and the wand obeys the hand that lifts it with authority. Guarded speech is the doorway through which riches enter life. To guard one's words is to stand watch at the threshold of creation, choosing carefully which decrees are permitted to pass into the unseen. For every utterance is a bridge, carrying thought into form, shaping the substance of destiny. Words spoken without care are like gates thrown open to thieves, allowing poverty and confusion to slip in unchallenged. Words spoken with faith and purpose are like gates that admit only guests of honor, only the treasures of abundance, only the blessings that enrich and uplift. To understand this is to hold the key to the visible expression of wealth. For guarded, faith-filled speech is the very bridge by which unseen riches cross into the world of matter. Every day the tongue moves ceaselessly, and with each phrase something is set in motion. One speaks of shortage, and shortage appears. Another speaks of delay, and delay rises up to block the way. Still another declares, "Nothing works out for me." And the universe, ever obedient, arranges circumstances to reflect the decree. Most do not realize that their lives are filled not with accidents, but with the echoes of their own words. They curse themselves without knowing, sowing seeds of failure with casual phrases, then wondering why the harvest is bitter. To guard speech is to put an end to this carelessness, to refuse the utterance of anything one does not wish to see made flesh. Faith-filled speech is more than positive talk, it is the vibration of certainty expressed in sound. Words spoken in fear carry no power to bless, for the tone of fear is the true command the universe obeys. But words spoken in faith are clothed with life, and life rushes to obey. To say, "I am provided for in every way," with conviction, is to build a bridge so strong that no force of doubt can collapse it. Supply travels across that bridge, opportunities cross it, divine provision marches over it, until it stands visible in the world of form. Without such words, the riches of the unseen remain distant, shimmering but unreachable. With such words, they step across into the life of the speaker. Speech is not only a bridge for wealth, it is also a guard at the gate. When one refuses to speak of failure, the gate is closed to failure. When one declines to complain of lack, the gate is shut against lack. When one turns aside idle chatter of misfortune, the gate is locked to misfortune. The mouth becomes a sentinel, allowing only the language of prosperity to pass, and by this vigilance, the world reshapes itself. Words of blessing invite blessing, words of praise invite increase, words of gratitude summon multiplication. Guarded speech is not repression. It is selection. It is not silence born of fear, but speech born of wisdom. There is a sacred responsibility in words, for each one is a seed that cannot be recalled once sown. The careless say, It doesn't matter what I say. But their lives bear witness to the truth that it matters greatly. The seeds of yesterday's speech are the fruits of today's conditions. If the harvest is bitter, it is because bitter words were planted. If the harvest is sweet, it is because sweet words were chosen. Guarding speech means sowing with foresight, planting only what one wishes to reap, never scattering seeds of doubt, fear, or complaint. Faith-filled words create bridges where none seem possible. In the desert of apparent lack, a single declaration can open a path to flowing rivers. When one says, "The supply I need now appears," and speaks it not as wish but as fact, unseen forces move at once to fulfill the decree. Opportunities are drawn forth from hidden places, channels open, doors swing wide. The bridge has been laid, and riches cross it. Without such words one wanders the desert, working and striving but never finding water. With such words, the oasis appears and abundance becomes visible. Guarded speech also transforms inner life. The thoughts of the heart are constantly seeking expression through the lips. When one disciplines the tongue, the mind begins to follow, reshaping itself according to the new standard. Speak enough of abundance, and the inner dialogue of lack begins to dissolve. Declare often that life blesses and prospers you, and soon even the silent whispers of doubt grow faint. Guarding words trains the mind into alignment. And when mind and mouth agree in faith, the bridge becomes indestructible. The bridge of speech is not built by a single phrase, but by the continual stream of declarations. Each affirmation is a plank laid down, each word of faith another stone set in place. Over time, the bridge grows strong and wide, carrying ever greater riches across. Just as rivers cut canyons by persistence, so does persistent speech carve channels for abundance. One day's declaration may seem to shift little, but continued utterance shapes the whole landscape of life. Faith-filled repetition is not empty, it is construction. Each phrase is a builder's hand, raising the span that connects unseen wealth to visible reality. Guarded speech is not limited to affirmations of prosperity alone, it also forbids negative prophecy. To say "this will never work" is to lay a plank of failure across the bridge, weakening it. To declare, "things always go wrong," is to invite collapse. To guard speech is to tear up these planks the moment they appear, replacing them with words of strength, words of victory, words of certainty. This works in my favor. Everything unfolds for my good. I am surrounded by divine order. With such words the bridge remains strong, and no weight of circumstance can break it. Even in the face of visible lack, faith-filled speech sustains the bridge. One may look upon an empty purse and still declare, "My supply is abundant and ever-flowing." One may see a closed door and still affirm, "The right opportunity opens for me now." The guarded tongue does not yield to appearances, it speaks from truth, not from fear. By this discipline, the bridge is held firm until the unseen becomes seen, until the purse fills, until the door swings wide. The lips become the channel through which destiny is written. To guard them is to guard the future. To fill them with faith is to ensure that the future is rich. Words are not idle, they are builders, guards, and bridges. To let them wander is to invite chaos, to discipline them is to invite prosperity. Every phrase is a choice between lack and abundance, between ruin and riches. To choose words of faith is to choose wealth, to choose words of doubt is to choose want. The decision is made each moment the tongue moves, and the universe responds without fail.